What's going on with the Democrats is amazing. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. You know, this Graham Platner scandal, it's absolutely amazing what's going on here. And I'm going to give you a really good breakdown of everything that's happening because there's a bigger picture with Graham Platner that the media really aren't interested in getting involved in right now, to tell you the truth. And here's what's going on, okay? This allegation with the interview with the victim of Graham Platner, who's made these allegations, is not a new story. It may be new to you and me in the last 12 hours or so, but it's not new to the Democrats. They've known about this for a while. In fact, New York Times did a story on a woman who made an accusation, but it was discounted because she was a Republican. And yesterday's accuser of Graham Platner's, who's a Democratic socialist, she was communist. She was interviewed and known to the New York Times, and they didn't run with it. And what's happened, I'll give you the details and explain my reasoning here, but the Democrat Party establishment is purging themselves of Graham Platner, not because of the Nazi tattoo or the allegations from this latest accuser. What the Republican establishment are doing is fighting to maintain control of the party, and the Democrat Party establishment have decided to lose the Senate seat in Maine to the Republicans. It's obvious as the nose on my face and your face. Okay, it's just that's the way it is. It's very obvious what's going on here, and you know with the Democrats, if you look at what's happened here, everything that's happened with Graham Platner since yesterday afternoon, all done by Democrats. The accuser herself, who used the R word, she said she was raped by Graham Platner. And she said she agrees with him politically, and she kept a lid on it because she agrees with him politically. And that's one of the reasons she didn't come forward with the details sooner. But the story was originally published in Politico yesterday. And Politico, if you read the story, and I'm going to go through the story later in the show, but the Politico story, and remember, Politico is a hardcore Democrat establishment publication, okay? It's not just liberal. It's a Democrat establishment publication, has been since it was founded, whenever that was. But they've always been a Democrat. And if you read the story, they said they've done a 2-week-long investigation. Well, 2 weeks ago is about the time that the civil war between the Democrat establishment and the Democrat socialists began, with James Carville and Rahm Emanuel having meltdowns over it. So the Democrat Party establishment, think about this. They have made a decision to lose the Senate seat in Maine. Now, in the recent polls, Susan Collins was ahead, but barely, within the margin of error. So the Senate seat in Maine was up for grabs, and Graham Platner had a chance to win it. But the Democrat establishment are more interested in maintaining control of the party than they are winning the midterm election. So they brought down Graham Platner through the Democrat establishment article in Politico, which is very detailed. Jake Tapper did an interview with the alleged victim on CNN. That's another Democrat establishment news outlet. So don't you see what's going on here? You know, the Democrat establishment, they don't want these Democrat socialists winning elections. They're trying to defeat them. Now, some of them, it's too late, right? You know, they've won some primaries around, and they may go on to win the general, but they do not want them to win, especially a high-profile one like Graham Platner. And this civil war inside the Democrat Party is not just about this midterm election cycle. You're going to see the Democrat establishment purge itself of all of these Democrat socialists because they're going to lose their party. And that includes purging themselves of Bernie Sanders, AOC, and the rest of the women in the squad, like Ilhan Omar and Tlaib and all the rest. Because they know, now they may not be successful. The Democrat socialists could prevail. We'll find out. But there's a war going on between them, and they're out to destroy one another. which is a good thing for us. We want this to happen, and this is not something that's going to be over in November. This is going to continue to the presidential election and maybe even beyond, okay? And these Democrat establishment people, we're not talking about the Democrat socialist undercover commies. We're talking about the Democrat establishment. They know that if these Democrat socialists continue to win, they're out. And their families are out. You know, these political parties, the Republican establishment, which President Trump's been ridding us of, and the Democrat establishment, these are multi-generational families. Their families are all on the dole through corruption and everything, making money. Some of them will hold office in the future. They're going to lose their party to these socialists. And this, by the way, the Democrats are going to start working against Mamdani, too, because Mamdani has given us a bunch of Democrat socialist primary victories, and he's a Democrat socialist himself. So we couldn't hope for something better. But this is not about the accusations that the woman made. It's just not. And to think that it is naive. So I'm going to cover all of this on the program today and take your calls. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And when the radio show begins in a few minutes, I am going to go through some of the clips from the interview that the rape accuser made with Jake Tapper last night, and we'll go through all of this. But I think it's very obvious that it's the Democrat establishment that are doing this purge. And you know, and I remember when I first went on live on my podcast yesterday, the details had not yet broken. Okay, and I at the beginning of yesterday's podcast, like, what? You know, this guy's got a Nazi tattoo on his chest over his heart. What could be worse than that? That's going to lead to him dropping out. Now, in the back of my mind, this was one of the few possibilities that came to mind that I could say, okay, it could be. I didn't say it because I wasn't sure yet, but it was one of the things that I said, okay, this is possible. But and during the podcast, it broke, and you know they're both bad. Obviously, everything about Graham Platner has not had a single redeeming quality since he came onto the scene. And if that Nazi tattoo didn't bother them, why would these allegations that they've known about for months bother them? It's only because the Democrat socialists are about to take over their party, and they know it. And they're going to rename their party, and they're going to be out. And these establishment politicians, you see it in our own party, in the Republican Party. They make so much money. You know, the Democrat Party is one big financial corruption syndicate, right? It's a financial crime operation, not a political party, right? So the Democrat establishment, they're the ones that are making all this money off all this Medicaid fraud all over the country, California, Minnesota, and all that has been uncovered by Nick Shirley and others. And if the Democrat socialists take over the party, they will lose their grip on all that money that they're stealing from the federal government, their whole rackets nationwide. And you can only imagine the other financial rackets they have going on that we're not familiar with. So there's the Democrat establishment want to stay in power, not just because they're narcissists who want to be in power. That's part of it. But it's their money. And the Democrat Socialists of America are threatening their money. They didn't mind them a few years ago when they were extreme kooks and were helping them win some elections. But now that they've stepped up and they're like, okay, we're taking this party back now. They've said, nope, this is not going to be allowed. We're not going to let this happen. You're not going to take back our party. Now, if you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're tuned in from, 888-465-2631. 2631. 888-465-2631. It is a toll-free call, and we're about 90 seconds away from the radio show beginning. This is the pre-show, and I'll open up the radio show. I'll explain a little bit of this, and then I'll start to go through the audio sound bites. But to my knowledge, I have never known the Democrat establishment to make a conscious decision to lose a race like this. And this isn't just a House race. This is a seat in the United States Senate. That's a big deal. So they have made a decision. Well, 1 minute till the radio show begins. They've made a decision, the Democrat establishment, to allow Susan Collins to waltz in pretty much unchallenged, regardless of what happens with Graham Platner. I mean, he's done at this point, and keep that seat in Maine, a Republican seat. When it was in reach, they very well may have been able to grab that seat. So we're in very unusual times with the Democrats, and that's good for us. It's good for the country because the Democrats are a poison. Less than 30 seconds. If you're on hold, stand by. And the radio show begin. I'll open up. I'll state what the premise is of what I'm discussing, and I'll get in the sound bites and your calls. This is a day unlike any other. All right, we've got about 10 seconds. Stand by. How exciting. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Today is an amazingly exciting and complex day, and with the main story, the lead story of today is the Graham Platner situation. And if you're not familiar, a woman has come forward and gave a detailed interview to Politico, and then she sat down with Jake Tapper, and I'll play some highlights of the Jake Tapper interview in just a bit, but she's come forward and said that she was raped by Graham Platner. And these are pretty serious allegations that she's alleging, and I'm going to go through this. So Graham Platner's done, and what's going on here is so deep and beyond what anyone would imagine here, okay? This is something else. So yesterday afternoon, I go live on YouTube with my podcast, which if you don't catch my afternoon podcast and my YouTube channel, you really should. You're missing out on a lot. I do shows every day just like this in the morning. I do it on the weekends, in the afternoons, all the time. Just look me up on YouTube, Brian Craig Show. But yesterday afternoon, right before I started my podcast live, and I take calls like I do here, and a story broke that there's a big scandal coming out about Graham Platner. He's canceled all of his campaign events. All of them, right? So I go on the air on my podcast, and I'm thinking, what could be... He's got a Nazi tattoo on his chest. Not only is it on his chest, it's over his heart. And after that, all these top Democrats have been coming out and endorsing him for weeks. Some of them Jews. Right? So what could be so bad that now finally he may be dropping out of the race, Graham Platner? If being a Nazi didn't do it, what could it possibly be? And then during the live podcast, the story broke in Politico. Politico dropped the story. A woman came forward and alleges that she was raped by Graham Platner. And I read through the story and everything, and it's a very detailed story. And if you look at what's happened, the Politico story and the Jake Tapper interview, this is insane what's happened here. The Politico story they say it was a 2-week-long investigation. They found corroborating sources for everything. A boyfriend, her friends, text messages, even communications from her therapist to back up everything that she alleged in the Politico interview. They did a 2-week-long investigation. So what happened 2 weeks ago? Well, 2 weeks ago was right after these Mamdani-endorsed victories and some of these other Democrat socialist victories. And the Democrat Socialists started talking about, we're going to take down the Democrat establishment, right? The Democrat Socialist of America leaders started bragging on interviews all over the place that they were going to force the Democrat establishment out of power, and they were taking over the Democrat Party. And then James Carville and Rahm Emanuel came out and started, we got to stop this. And that's when Politico started their investigation. Well, Politico is not only a Democrat, liberal-leaning publication, Politico is a Democrat establishment outlet, okay, news website. It has been since it was founded. And then her sit down with Jake Tapper, CNN is also a Democrat establishment, as well as deep state, CIA, but a Democrat establishment news outlet. The story that the woman told is new to you, it's new to me, but it's not new to the Democrats. The New York Times did a piece on Graham Platner weeks ago where one woman alleged some things, but they discounted it by saying, well, she was a Republican, so they didn't believe her. But this woman who came out yesterday in the Politico story and with Tapper on CNN was known to the New York Times. In the Politico story, and even with Jake Tapper last night, the alleged rape victim said that she agrees with Graham Platner politically, so she didn't want to come forward. There was other reasons too, but one of the main reasons is she agrees with his political agenda. Think about that. Her Trump derangement syndrome was so deep that she was going to allow a man that she is accusing of raping her to get elected to a 6-year term in the United States Senate. But something changed. And what changed is when the Democrat establishment woke up and said, we're going to lose our party. We've got to stop these Democrat socialists. In the latest polls, Susan Collins is ahead of Graham Platner, but just barely, within the margin of error. All right? So, yeah. So, Graham Platner has been brought down, not just by Democrats, that's too generic. Graham Platner has been brought down by the Democrat Party establishment. And the Democrat Party establishment are not fighting to win the midterm elections. They're fighting to maintain control of the Democrat Party. And what the Democrat establishment made a conscious decision to do, that to my knowledge they've never done before, the Democrat Party establishment has made the decision to give the Senate seat in Maine to the Republicans, Susan Collins. It was in play. They very well may have won it. It would have been a tight race. It would have been a nail-biter on election night. But the Democrat establishment want to stop the Democrat socialists so bad, they've exposed Graham Platner, and he's out. Whether he drops out or not, that seat will go to Susan Collins. She might as well be running uncontested. And the Democrats made that decision so that they could control the party still and not allow it to be taken over by the Democrat Socialist of America. Never known the Democrats to throw an election. They just did. There is a civil war at a whole new level going on inside the Democrat Party. I'm going to go through the Politico article. I'm going to play some of the highlights from the Jake Tapper interview with the alleged victim of Graham Platner. We'll hear from Graham Platner and much more on the program. But I also want to hear from you guys on the phone, and our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Of course, it is a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Jeff from Maine.
Oh, hey, Jeff. Boy, big developments out of Maine.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I believe if they truly vetted their candidates, why would they run him in the first place? They must have known. They must have known.
Yeah, go ahead.
They must have known beforehand some of this stuff. They don't have anybody in America, let alone in Maine, that has any credibility or experience in positive feedback. And this is the kind of people they're running. The Democratic Party, I believe, is imploding, and I'm glad it's happening in Maine.
Here's the thing, Jeff. They knew about all this, but they didn't care because he fit the mold that they were casting.
And I'm wondering who they're going to try to run it the last second against Susan Collins now?
Doesn't matter.
Was that part of the? That's what I'm saying. I don't think the Democrat Party just keeps imploding on themselves every day, and I'm glad because this is going to help America. I'm sorry, the Maine people wake up to what the Democrat Party is about. This is unacceptable that they would even consider, let alone run this man for office.
See, and you got to understand, when you look at this story, the whole story came from the Democrats. Democrat establishment, Politico, Democrat establishment, Jake Tapper, and CNN. This has nothing to do with this. The Democrats are actively working to lose congressional elections to stop the Democrat socialists. And I'm telling you, they're going to come after Bernie and AOC and the rest of the squad too, because they know that they're going to lose their party.
And, it's an answer to prayers, because we've been praying for a change in America. And the only way we're going to change it truly is to expose. And I believe there's a lot of rhinos involved in that need to be voted out, and a lot of them have been. So we need complete change in America to go back to our roots.
No doubt.
I believe, like you said, it's happening. And we're watching it happening, and we should be very happy that this is happening.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff, I got to run, but I appreciate the call. All right, you take care. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax. Listen, if you missed the tax filing deadline, don't panic. Call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He can help you. If you've missed multiple tax filing deadlines, call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He can help you. By the way, Jamie Levac can handle your taxes no matter where you are in the United States. If you haven't filed taxes in years, or you missed this most recent deadline, give Jamie Levac a call. If you're in debt to the IRS, give Jamie Levac a call with that too. He can help you out with that. If you're a business owner or you're in the gig economy, like an Uber driver or any type of business, Jamie Levac can help you with your business taxes too. And remember, he can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the United States. And you business owners, Jamie Levac can also help you out with your bookkeeping. You hear ads all the time, national ads from big famous people that talk about, call this number and they'll help you with your debt to the IRS and your back taxes. Well, what I learned from Jamie Levac, those companies charge huge amounts of money. And if you're in debt to the IRS, how can you afford that? Jamie Levac can help you with your past taxes with the IRS. He has a direct line to the IRS, and he'll take care of all of it for you for just a tiny, tiny, tiny little fraction of what those big companies are charging. This number rings directly to Jamie Levac, so you can call or text 954-773-1587. Remember, Jamie Levac at Swift Tax can help you with your taxes, and no matter what state you are in. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. We'll take our first break of this Tuesday morning. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Cain Show. My name is Brian Craig, back right after this. All right, now, if you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
What does it really mean to be the richest person in history? Find out in The Valuation King, how Musk used equity and exits to become the most powerful founder alive. Available on Amazon. This must-read book compares two legendary empire builders separated by more than 600 years. Mansa Musa, the ruler whose legendary wealth transformed economies, and Elon Musk, the modern entrepreneur who redefined how fortunes are built in the 21st century. The Valuation King uses real financial records, SEC filings, court documents, as well as in-depth research, uncovering the powerful strategies behind today's biggest fortunes. When you read The Valuation King, you'll learn how equity can become greater than cash and explore the financial playbook that has changed business forever. Whether you're an investor, entrepreneur, business owner, or simply fascinated by wealth and innovation, The Valuation King offers an eye-opening look at one of the most remarkable financial stories ever told. Order your copy of The Valuation King, how Musk used equity and exits to become the most powerful founder alive, on Amazon and Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. How would you like to create professional documents in seconds instead of hours? You could do just that with DocAssistAI.pro, the AI-powered platform that helps you create, sign, send, and manage documents with ease. Need a contract, agreement, NDA, employment letter, or other business document? Just describe what you need in plain English, and DocAssistAI.pro creates a professional document in seconds. Need signatures? Send legally binding e-signature request with secure email verification, complete audit trails, and real-time tracking. Already have your own PDF? Upload it and collect signatures in just a few clicks. Working with a long contractor report? DocAssistAI.pro can even generate an AI-powered summary so you can understand the key points fast. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Visit DocAssistAI.pro. That's DocAssistAI.pro. Create, sign, send smarter with DocAssistAI.pro. Do you owe back taxes? Jamie Levac at Swift Tax is here to help. He's helped people just like you with their IRS problems, and he doesn't charge those outrageous high fees the other companies demand. Jamie Levac at Swift Tax charges only a small fraction of what those companies charge. Stop worrying every time the mailman comes that he's bringing you a letter from the IRS. Call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax right now, 954-773-1587, 954-773-1587.
All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're just over a minute from returning from our radio break, and we're going to continue to talk about Graham Platner and how the Democrat establishment are ridding themselves of the Democrat Socialist of America undercover commies. The number to call in is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And by the way, if you guys could do me the favor of liking the video, that would really be appreciated. If you could do that for me. You know, when you like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel, okay? And that helps grow the channel. And the number is pinned in the live chat to call in toll-free, all right? There you go, all right. All right, we got about 20 seconds. Oh, man. The Democrat versus Democrat civil war couldn't come at a better time, right before the midterm elections. All right, 10 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian, and of course, we're talking about this Democrat civil war coming at a time that we couldn't plan better ourselves. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Hey, Doc. What's up?
Hey, man. How are you this morning?
Oh, how could I not be doing incredibly well with the Democrat Party eating each other alive? This is beautiful.
He's done. So I'm moving on from that. He's done.
Yeah, well, I'm not moving on. I'm going to be talking about it till 9.
Because you, that's fine. Because that's how you. That's your show. That's how you make your money. So that's fine. What I'm calling you about this morning too. What? Hello?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So what's so funny?
You.
So I said that's your show. That's how you make your money. That's fine. That's how you make your money talking about stuff like that. I'm not hating against you. Make your money, man. That's how you feed your family. That's how you take care of your wife. That's how you take care of your daughter.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's one day. That's how you go take care of your grandchildren. Okay. What I'm calling about too this morning. What is going on with Mitch McConnell?
There's a report today that he's brain dead. It's unconfirmed, but there's a report that he's brain dead.
I'm fine. Why don't they just come out and say it? If he is. I'm sorry.
Well, with Mitch McConnell, there's a bit of a panic going on. You know, it has been believed by many that he is a Chinese CCP asset. His wife, Elaine Chao, comes from a very prominent Chinese family. Her father went to school with the past president of China. They're very wealthy. So why did this attractive, very wealthy woman marry a man that's as physically repulsive as Harvey Weinstein? And then after he had 3 days after he had cardiac arrest, with this recent hospital. So he had cardiac arrest. 3 days after his cardiac arrest, Mitch McConnell's wife flew to China, unplanned trip, and met with the vice president of China. So my guess is that he's been a source of all kinds of probably classified intel and God only knows what else, on top of the fact that he's caused all kinds of disruption in the United States. And the CCP are in a panic trying to figure out how they're going to maintain this operation they've had so long with Mitch McConnell. And that's probably why they have not announced that what his exact condition is. And the Republican establishment are as low life as the Democrats too. So they don't want him to be gone and then get a MAGA Republican in that Senate seat. They're worried about that because they're holding up. They're slowing down Trump with the Save America Act. And
I heard if he is gone, they're going to put a Democrat in that seat.
No, I don't know what you heard.
It's a Democratic government.
No, it's going to mess everything up for them because there's going to be an election.
And that's why
there's going to be an election.
Like I said, I've been hearing
because he's got enough time. There will be an election, and they're panicked about an election because it's not going to be. They're going to lose the establishment. Republicans are going to lose control because there will be an election, and a lot of times elections are triggered by when the seat is vacated. So they're trying to figure out what they're going to do, and they're kicking the can down the road, and a panic.
What if his seat is up?
I'm not sure what exactly when his seat is up offhand, but there'll be an election.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, it's just crazy. It is. Like I said, it's just crazy. I don't know why. Like I said, I don't know why they go down. If he's gone, he's gone.
There's a report that he's brain dead. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. It's an unconfirmed report.
Like with his wife, when his wife left him, it's like, how many wives, if you brand it, how many wives is going to say, you know what, I'm going to China?
Well, people think, if you listen to what I said at the beginning, but you obviously weren't paying attention.
I did listen to you.
A lot of people believe that Mitch McConnell's wife is his handler for the CCP, his Chinese CCP handler.
Okay.
That he's an asset, not a husband.
Okay.
I mean, what wife would leave her husband and go across the planet 3 days after he went into cardiac arrest and was hospitalized? That's not a...
Because when my wife was sick in the hospital, we had a trip planned. And she promised me. She said, I did not want to go on that trip. And she said, you go on that trip because you were looking forward to that trip. Besides, we paid for the trip already.
Yeah.
We paid for the trip already. She said, you go on that trip.
And you went?
And she said, she said, you go on that trip because she said, you were looking forward to that trip, I was looking forward to more because it was.
But this was different because Mitch McConnell's wife went to China and met with the vice president of China. So it wasn't like.
I just find that's just crazy. That's just crazy.
It tells you what you need to know. It's something else there. All right, appreciate the call, Doc. Yeah. So, but you're not going to get us off topic of the Democrat implosion. The Democrat implosion and civil war is a beautiful sight. Now, after the bottom of the hour break, I'm going to get into some of the clips from the interview with the accuser of Graham Platner, with Jake Tapper, and we'll break all that down as well. And I want to tell you guys, Coastal Weight Loss Secret, who I've had all this incredible success. Those of you guys that watch me on YouTube, you've seen all the incredible weight loss that I've experienced. My face used to be round. Go on YouTube and look at my old YouTube videos. You'll see my face was round. And now I've got my face back. I've got my chin back. I've got my neck back. I have my square jaw back. And I have a flat stomach. And I weigh what I weighed 30 years ago. Thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I did this without exercise, eating foods I would normally eat, without starving myself, and without any pills or injections. And you can do it too, because I did it. I've been on one weight loss program, Coastal Weight Loss Secret. It worked, and I've maintained the weight loss. I haven't gained anything back. It's amazing. And keeping it off has been so effortless because there's no big lifestyle changes to lose the weight with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. They can help you lose weight no matter where you are in the world. So if you're in another state or another part of the planet, call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. But Coastal Weight Loss Secret, for America's 250th anniversary, is offering $400 off right now. Now, I don't know when this is going to end, So you better call because it will end without notice. I'll just get a email or a text message before I go on the air one day, and they'll tell me. But right now it is still in effect. $400 off a Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Call right now, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back. All right, callers on hold, you stand by, all right?
Are you looking for your next unforgettable read? Then order your copy of the thrilling first book in the Deep Time Cascade series from author Mattis Czech, The Redenor Legacy, available on Amazon. What begins as a routine geological expedition in the remote mountains of Norway turns into a discovery that could rewrite everything we know about Earth's history. Four geologists uncover an ancient underground system buried deep beneath the rock. It's filled with mysterious symbols, hidden chambers, impossible technology, and secrets that were never meant to be found. As strange events take place around the planet, the team realizes they're racing against time. The deeper they descend, the more they uncover a forgotten intelligence and one shocking truth. If you love high-tech science fiction, ancient mysteries, edge-of-your-seat adventure, and stories that blend science with global suspense, this is a book you will not want to put down. The Redenor Legacy, from author Mattis Czech, is available right now on Amazon and free with Kindle Unlimited. Are you looking for jewelry that's as unique as you are? Then check out Kita Luxury on Etsy, where every piece is handcrafted with passion, artistry, and the natural beauty of genuine crystals and gemstones. Inspired by a love for one-of-a-kind bohemian designs, Kita Luxury was created with a simple mission to make extraordinary handmade jewelry accessible to everyone. Behind every creation is a talented team of skilled artisans, each bringing their custom expertise to metalwork, stone cutting, beading, and fine jewelry craftsmanship to produce stunning wearable works of art. Whether you're searching for a breathtaking statement necklace, elegant earrings, handcrafted bracelets, beautiful rings, or meaningful jewelry for both men and women, you'll discover pieces that celebrate your individuality and personal style. Every design is carefully handcrafted using high-quality, natural materials, creating jewelry that's more than an accessory. It's a reflection of who you are. Whether you're shopping for yourself or searching for the perfect gift, Kita Luxury offers timeless handcrafted jewelry designed to inspire, delight, and be treated for years to come. These healing crystals are some of the best healing jewelry on Etsy. Visit KeetaLuxury.etsy.com. That's KEETA luxury.etsy.com. KeetaLuxury.etsy.com. Handcrafted jewelry that tells your story. KeetaLuxury.etsy.com.
We'll be back in less than a minute. That picture on the screen, that's me yesterday on Newsmax. I was on Newsmax about 12:40 yesterday afternoon, and that's me on the left. In the middle is Shannon Cake, who's with Newsmax, and I know her because she was on the news here in South Florida, WPTV, for many years. Now she's with Newsmax. And then they had me on with this Democrat, and we got into a debate. It was a little heated there. This guy, he didn't know who he was dealing with. But you may not recognize me because I've got a suit and tie on. That's a Trump tie that I'm wearing. But yes. All right, we'll be back in 10 seconds. Unbelievable. All right, we're back. Callers on hold. You stand by. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name is Brian Craig. Welcome, one and all. Okay, so we're talking about Graham Platner and everything that's happened with Graham Platner, and it does not get better than this. So Jake Tapper sat down with the alleged victim, and she gave some details. Listen. Oh, hold on, let me cue it up. I thought I had it queued up, and I did. This is Jake Tapper with the alleged victim. She gives quite a bit of detail.
Something you said that I just want to find out more about. You said he was forcing himself on you. It was getting violent. You were pushing him off. You were kicking him off. Needles and sewing equipment was falling all over. And walk us through the process where you decided that the safest thing you could do was just let him rape you.
Yeah. I had never been in that situation before, and I remember it being an instant where I had recognized that he wasn't listening to me. It wasn't just that he wasn't hearing me or whatnot. And then I recognized his level of intoxication, and I knew in that moment I wasn't safe. And I don't think I was safe to physically fight back. He's big, he's strong. And I just had to evaluate my safety and come up with the least worst outcome to the situation. And so I felt like complying for my safety was the least worst option.
But that's not consenting.
No, complying is not consenting.
Wow.
Complying is letting him rape you.
Is getting it over with.
So that he didn't hurt you even more?
I don't know what this person is capable of. I don't think anybody does. And even people you know for years and trust, you don't know the depths of what they're capable of. And
you were afraid for your safety.
Yeah, I was afraid for my safety.
Beyond, not that rape isn't a horrific thing, but beyond.
Right.
Rape.
I didn't want to find out how unsafe I could get that night.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy town we're in. And this is what blows me away. And you got to think about how dangerous the Democrat Socialists of America are. Remember, the Democrat Socialists of America are communists. We all know this, right? They knew this. Not only did the Democrat Socialists know this, the Democrats knew this for a while. But the Democrat Socialists knew about this. This came out in the original vetting that they did of him. But you know what? They didn't care. So, President Trump is, he talked the other night, we're not going to let these communists take over our country. They're not welcome here. It's true. Communists are not welcome here. They're dangerous. Not just because it's a different economic system and everything, but look at what these communist, Democrat, socialists are willing to do. Put up a Nazi and a man accused of rape. And they knew about this, and they were still running him. What do they know about other candidates? And they just don't care. They just don't care. And that really makes them, if you look at the communist takeovers around the world, they're all violent revolutions. And you've heard that phrase so many times in your life, right? From the left, the end justifies the means. The Democrat Socialist of America commies take that to the infinity level, right? Now, I'm not here to save the Democrat Party because the Democrat Party has had so much damage done to it, okay, that they cannot recover. For it's going to take them years to recover from what's going on here, because what's happened here, the Democrat Socialist of America are more embedded in the Democrat Party than they realized until about 2-3 weeks ago. All right. Those primary victories that happened in New York and then the one in Colorado scared them. And they were willing to go along with the Democrat Socialist of America so long as it benefited them staying in power. Remember, that's what the Democrats, that's all they care about. Rush used to talk about this. All Democrats care about is being in power. And the reason Democrats care about being in power isn't about that they're just narcissists who like to have these fancy titles. That's a part of it. But it's mostly about their financial scams they have, right? And we've seen in the last year the billions upon billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars every year that they're ripping the federal government off just through the Medicaid scam. Imagine what other scams they have going on, right? And that is what is being threatened, because if the Democrat Socialists of America take over, they'll lose all that, not just for themselves immediately, but these are legacy people. They plan on their children and grandchildren being a part of this Democrat machine, and they're going to be cut out. One of the Democrat Socialist of America leaders said about a week and a half ago that, no, we're not starting a third party. We're taking over the infrastructure of the Democrat Party. What? Yeah. And that's what really scared them. A lot. Now, here's another clip. This is from the interview last night. This is Jake Tapper with Graham Platner's alleged rape victim.
I know that you have been very reluctant to tell this story.
Yeah.
Very reluctant. Why did you ultimately decide to do it? Why come forward?
A few reasons. One of the biggest ones is that I think that there are a lot of men in this world relying on the silence of women and to be where they are. And I don't want to contribute to that. I also want to just get my life back.
There are going to be people, maybe even his campaign, certainly his supporters, who say this is politically motivated. What would you say to that?
I couldn't disagree more. That was actually one of the reasons that I didn't come out.
Because you agree with his politics.
I do. I really agree with his politics. I think we need somebody with those political stances and who are...
I mean, think about this. She says she was raped by this man. A horrific violation she's accusing him of. But she's a Democrat socialist. She agrees with his policies. And also, she's obviously got Trump derangement syndrome. It really tells you how frightening these people are.
Willing to do the work, and I see his political videos. They get me fired up as well. I understand why people want someone like him in office. And I felt like me coming forward would potentially take that away. And I felt really uncomfortable with the responsibility and the weight of my story and what that might do.
When people hear this from you, mm-hmm. Are you saying you should not vote for him because of what happened?
I'm not going to go as far as to say that. I'm just here to tell my story, to give a clearer picture of who he is and the type of past that he has. And I just think it's fair to the democratic process to let people know who they're voting for.
Who they're voting for. See, now this is a wrinkle. I've seen many a sex scandal with a politician come out in my time. And I know a lot of you have too, right? Have you ever seen one like this? Where they say, hey, I didn't come forward because I like their politics, and their political commercials have been exciting. I've never heard anything like this. This is a whole new level of weird that we've truly never experienced. So before we take the next break, those of you on hold, hang in there. This is what I'd like to hear from you guys out there. And the number, of course, is toll-free, 888-465-2631. Do you agree with me or not that the Democrat Party establishment is behind all of this, that the Democrat Party establishment, to hold on to control of the party, have made a decision to lose the election in Maine, and they're going to work to lose these other elections? Some of them it may be too late, because some of these primaries, like the ones in New York, are like uncontested. But that the Democrat Party is actively just made a move to lose a Senate race that was in play because they're trying to fight for the survival of their control over their party and purge themselves of Democrat socialists. Do you agree with that or not? Your thoughts certainly are welcome on this and anything involving the Graham Platner scandal. I've got more to share when we get back. The number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. But first, I want to check in with John over at Lighthouse Medical. We're going to talk about neuropathy.
Brian here. I'm at Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano, sitting with John. He's the Chief Operating Officer and Director of Neuropathy Treatment right here at Lighthouse Medical Center. You know, John, a lot of people have neuropathy. They may have had it for years. They've gone to their primary care physician, maybe even a specialist like a neurologist, and their doctors have told them there's no treatment for neuropathy. That's your life now. That's not true, is it?
No, it's not true, Brian. I mean, it's a real common misconception. There's a lot of clinicians who just don't understand neuropathy or how to assess it, how to treat it. We're specialized in this. One of the biggest frustrations is patients don't get proper blood work, metabolic dysfunction testing, looking at their gut health, inflammation, what are their lifestyle choices with diet, sleep, nutrition, hormones. There's so many things that can affect neuropathy. But typically, for most patients, we do a very extensive assessment with really extensive blood work, genetic blood work, and physical testing. And we're able to evaluate the patient to see, do you or don't you have neuropathy? And then we provide them with a treatment plan options for what would be needed to be done for their situation to help them get better.
You know, I've talked to quite a few of my listeners that are patients of yours, and I've heard incredible things. I've heard that people have seen relief from neuropathy symptoms after their very first treatment. And I've talked to people that had the treatment through you after years, and their neuropathy symptoms still have not returned.
Yes. We're able to help people who are at different stages of neuropathy. Some people in the very beginning stages, we don't want it to get bad, so we're able to treat it sooner because they come in sooner when they notice any sort of symptoms or suspect something. We have patients who have really bad neuropathy who are at 70, 80, 90% nerve damage in both of their lower extremities, and we're able to help them as well. That's the difference of them walking or not, or being able to get up and do things or not. So we have to assess each patient one by one, and that's what needs to be done with our extensive testing.
Call Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano and schedule your no-charge consultation right now. Let them treat you and rid you of your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com.
We'll be right back after this.
What if the place you called home wasn't a home at all? From author James Kramer comes a powerful true story of survival, resilience, faith, and hope. The Boy in the Barn, available on Amazon. Growing up in the 1960s, James lived through circumstances no child should ever have to face. Behind the appearance of a normal family was a hidden reality, one of hardship, isolation, and painful secrets that few people ever saw. The Boy in the Barn is a story about the strength of the human spirit, a story about finding light in the darkest places, about perseverance, healing, and the life-changing power of faith and forgiveness. Through every challenge, James found reasons to keep moving forward, guided by God's grace and the kindness of people who became bright lights along his journey. Honest, inspiring, and deeply moving, The Boy in the Barn is a memoir that will stay with you. Discover the remarkable true story of one man's journey from darkness toward hope in The Boy in the Barn from author James Kramer, available on Amazon and Kindle and paperback.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust to your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
Now for the lowest price ever. Kings, $19.98, Queens, only $18.98. And Giza Dream Bed Sheets, the best sheets in history, for as low as $29.98. Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you, what a concept, now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But that's not all. Order right now and we'll ship your order absolutely free.
How would you like to find your next great read without wasting hours digging through millions of mediocre books? You can do just that at NovelHolla.com. NovelHolla.com is an ebook store built for readers who care about quality. Unlike massive online bookstores that overwhelm you with endless choices, every title is selected with readers in mind, so you can spend less time searching and more time reading. And at NovelHolla.com, when you buy a book, it's yours. You're not locked into a proprietary platform or forced to use a specific device. Just download your books, read them where you want, and even share them with your friends and family. And best of all, great books aren't expensive either. Every book at NovelHolla.com is just $3.99. There's also a subscription plan for just $5.99 a month. Stop sorting through millions of books that you'll never read when someone else has already found the good ones for you. Visit NovelHolla.com right now. That's NovelHalla. NovelHolla.com. A curated library of books you'll actually enjoy. NovelHolla.com.
All right, we'll be back in about 40 seconds. The cue. Let me find. This was one thing I wanted to play. Okay. This is amazing. Welcome back, everyone. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Okay, so we're talking about everything that's going on with Graham Platner and the Democrat Party and the Democrat Socialist of America. And, you know, the thing about all these things about Graham Platner that we're talking about, these are not new to the Democrats. You know, what's happened with the Democrats, you've heard me talk about this here and there during this primary season with these Democrat socialist victories. What the Democrats made the mistake of doing, it started with Bernie, then with AOC, all these people in between. The Democrats knew they were losing ground. That's why they were bringing in so many foreigners over here and repopulating and colonizing the United States with a new base of support, because the American people were leaving them. I mean, look at these new polls that have been out there on the Save America Act. The majority of blacks and Latinos support the Save America Act. So the Democrats have lost the black vote that they had locked up at the numbers they had it locked up at. And same goes with the Hispanic vote. And they've lost the middle class vote, and it's hopeless for them. So they'd been operating with two things. In the long run, in the long term, the Democrats were bringing in all of these illegals to colonize our country, and they were strategically placing them in places like Ohio and Minnesota. And they've had some success in Michigan and Manhattan. And they've had some success, no doubt about it, and building up a new Democrat base of support. But that takes time, and they've been doing it. But in the short term, what they've been doing for the last 10 years is bringing the Democrat Socialist into the fold, because they're an activist group that they thought they could control. They thought they could control. And they figured, well, you know, they're a bunch of kook kids. Bernie Sanders is their leader, but we bought him off, right? Remember, Bernie Sanders was out there fighting hard against Hillary Clinton in the primaries back in 2015, 2016. He had a private meeting with Obama. He came out and endorsed her, dropped out and endorsed her. Remember that? And the next thing I knew, Bernie Sanders owned 5 homes, all right? So they thought they could control them. And here they are 10 years later, they woke up and they not only have lost control of the Democrat Socialist of America, they have they pretty much lost their party. And who's behind it? It's not Bernie Sanders or Mamdani. It's Obama. Obama is working behind the scenes. He's not the front of the house, but it's Obama behind the scenes who is behind all of this. That's right. And he's very happy with it. That's why so much of it is Muslim. I would not be surprised if the Obama, Brennan, I was watching an interview with a retired CIA guy. And he was with the CIA for 18 years. And he was talking about how when Brennan came in to be CIA director, that the CIA became politicized, right? Yeah, it became politicized. And it would not surprise me that Obama did not and you got to remember, John Brennan, who's one of the coup conspirators against Trump, is Muslim. People don't realize that. Did you guys know that Brennan was? A lot of you know, but a lot of you don't. Would you be surprised if you remember now, all these Muslims that have been brought into the country are a lot of them. Remember with the temporary protective status order last week? It wasn't just Haitians. It was also Syrians. So why are the Syrians here under this temporary protective status for so long? It's the Syrian civil war. Would you be surprised if Brennan at the CIA and Obama did not start that Syrian civil war just so they could have these Muslim refugees here? And if you remember, although it's been kind of forgotten, one of the first things Trump did in his first term was the Muslim ban, and it was very controversial. They were in a panic. Obama is behind this entire Democrat Socialist of America commie takeover of the Democrats, which really takes the fight behind the scenes to a whole new level, because who's the establishment leader? It's not Obama. Yeah. So Graham Platner, this flawed guy, he gave an interview with the New York Times. Listen to this. This is Graham Platner talking about how he became a candidate for the Senate in Maine. He didn't choose to run. He talks about how he was cast and recruited. Listen to this. This is Graham Platner talking to the New York Times on their podcast about how he ended up running for the Senate.
Like last summer when this all happened, I mean, my wife and I went from one day living a very small, simple life to, I mean, literally within days, having this whole thing like upend our entire existence. And so there's
because you were recruited, right? Because they saw a video of you.
Yep.
And
Somebody saw a video of me talking about fighting a Norwegian salmon farm in our area. And they were like, that guy seems well-spoken. Maybe we should go talk to him. And they came to my house and they said that we should run for U.S. Senate. And my wife and I were like, that's the most insane thing we've ever heard. Please get out of our house. And then they came back a few days later with more of like a fleshed out plan. And at that point, we're like, oh my God, I mean, it's still insane, but there's something to it. And for us, we've spent a long time being very engaged politically at the local level. And I think both of us are deeply committed to building a significantly better future.
Okay. And Graham Platner, will he drop out? They have until the 15th to plug somebody new in. Will he drop out? His ego's gotten out of control. If you notice, he refers to himself as we now, the royal we. So his ego's out of control, and he doesn't want to resign and give credibility to these allegations. Now, maybe he could be bought off, but he and his family are already rich. But, you can always be richer. But right there, he admitted to the New York Times he was cast because he fit the mold of what they wanted someone to look like and sound like and dress like to run. And the head of the Democrat Socialist of America, they hired a firm and they did a very detailed vetting of him. So they knew about all this stuff, all of it. I think they even knew about the tattoo. But they didn't care because they were casting from central casting. And as a Democrat, you usually have complete immunity from media scrutiny. So they didn't anticipate this civil war inside the Democrat Party that they're now suffering through. We're in a time that I can't even believe we're in. This is something that we have never experienced before. All right, now I want to talk about Tom Laporta over at Laporta Roofing. Holy smokes, I don't know what was happening at your house yesterday afternoon, but my house, it was pouring down rain. And over the weekend, not only was the weather bad over the weekend, we were getting some winds. I came home the other day, and there was a big branch from the tree on next to my driveway that was laying on the ground and partially on the driveway. And luckily I wasn't home, or it would have fallen on my car. And that was from the strong wind. It broke a big branch right off a very old tree I have. I couldn't believe the winds are heavy, the rains are heavy. If you've got a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof, and you want to call Tom Laporta over at Laporta Roofing. You know, Tom Laporta, who will never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. You know, he works with every type of roofing material and every type of structure, residential, commercial, and municipal. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between, but he also can handle the job of any size. So if it's just one single family home, one office building, one condominium building, he can do it. Or if it's an HOA that has 500 units in it, he can handle the job that size and even larger. So no job is too big for Tom Laporta either. And, you know, he was voted the best roofing company in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is really amazing because Fort Lauderdale is ground zero for hurricanes. You know, the Bermuda Triangle, the points of the Bermuda Triangle are San Juan, Puerto Rico, Bermuda, and Fort Lauderdale. And the secret of the Bermuda Triangle are hurricanes. Hurricanes are why all those ships and planes over the years have disappeared. So, and there are more roofing companies in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, per capita than any other city in the world. Okay, and to be voted the best roofing company when there's so many in a town like Fort Lauderdale certainly says a lot at one of the points of Hurricane Alley. Give Tom Laporta a call before that wet spot on your ceiling turns into a big problem. Okay, this number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, so you can call or text 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We only have about 30 seconds till the top of the hour, so I'm not going to take any calls till after the break. Well, I'm going to continue with Graham Platner and what's going on with him and the Democrat Party after the top of the hour break. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Our number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
What happens when a group of complete strangers are thrown together and forced to rely on each other? Find out in the new book from author Helen MacArthur, Super Route 7, Ride or Die, available on Amazon. This darkly funny novel takes readers on a journey filled with unforgettable characters, unexpected twists, unlikely friendships, and the kind of secrets people spend their lives trying to hide. Written by veteran journalist and magazine writer Helen MacArthur, Super Route 7 blends humor, heartbreak, suspense, and sharp observations about the choices we make and the baggage we carry with us. If you enjoy character-driven stories with wit, mystery, and plenty of surprises along the way, Super Route 7 is a ride you'll want to take. Super Route 7, Ride or Die, from author Helen MacArthur, is available right now on Amazon and free with Kindle Unlimited. Get on board and order your copy right now. Are you looking for jewelry that's as unique as you are? Then check out Kita Luxury on Etsy, where every piece is handcrafted with passion, artistry, and the natural beauty of genuine crystals and gemstones. Inspired by a love for one-of-a-kind bohemian designs, Kita Luxury was created with a simple mission to make extraordinary handmade jewelry accessible to everyone. Behind every creation is a talented team of skilled artisans, each bringing their custom expertise to metalwork, stone cutting, beading, and fine jewelry craftsmanship to produce stunning wearable works of art. Whether you're searching for a breathtaking statement necklace, elegant earrings, handcrafted bracelets, beautiful rings, or meaningful jewelry for both men and women, you'll discover pieces that celebrate your individuality and personal style. Every design is carefully handcrafted using high-quality, natural materials, creating jewelry that's more than an accessory. It's a reflection of who you are. Whether you're shopping for yourself or searching for the perfect gift, Kita Luxury Luxury offers timeless handcrafted jewelry designed to inspire, delight, and be treated for years to come. These healing crystals are some of the best healing jewelry on Etsy. Visit KeetaLuxury.etsy.com. That's KEETA luxury.etsy.com. KeetaLuxury.etsy.com. Handcrafted jewelry that tells your story. KeetaLuxury.etsy.com.
My Pillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium My Pillows that adjust to your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
Now for the lowest price ever. Kings, $19.98. Queens, only $18.98. And Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, for as low as $29.98. Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept! Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But that's not all. Order right now and we'll ship your order absolutely free.
All right, guys, we have about 30 seconds until we're back. Okay, hold on. All right, we're back. Hour number 2 has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We're talking about the Democrat Civil War and the Graham Platner rape allegations in that Senate race in Maine. Callers on hold, hang in there, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning,
hey,
Brian. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
I'm listening. I think you got everything 100%, but there's one thing I think, well, from what I see, Platner was put in there by the establishment to pacify the communists, okay? And he's an establishment candidate. Mm-hmm. If you notice, the communists are not saying a word about this. It's the establishment that's trying to unload him, but the commies are not even sticking up for him because he's the bridge to them. In other words, they figure, well, if the establishment puts somebody in like that, we're on the same team, guys.
Correct.
But guess what? Then this last election showed that these communists have taken over, and from what I see, there's no return for the Democratic Party. You got like a select group of Southern Black Democrats that are still sort of the Southern Church that are still 100% for the Democrats, like that guy Johnson in Atlanta, that they're pulling a race card all the time. I mean, the racist part of that party, along with the commies.
Well, Richie, what I'm talking about with this, what I see happening is this. I think they knew about all this stuff with Graham Platner, and they didn't care.
100%.
Okay, and we know this for a fact for a number of reasons, which I'm not going to go through again right now. They thought they could control the Democrat Socialist, and then they realized that not only can they not be controlled, they're going to lose complete control of the party. And the Democrats...
They have already.
But they're trying to hang on. It's like when the man's hanging on the ledge, he knows he's done for, but he's still going to hang on there until his fingers give out. So with the Democrat establishment, they used CNN and Politico to do this, and they have made a conscious decision to allow the Republicans to hold on to that seat in Maine that was in play. They could have won it if this didn't happen.
Well, I do know this. Susan Collins has been behind in every election she's run up until Election Day, where she's actually upset the Democrat. So for her to be even right now shows that this guy was going nowhere. but the establishment is the only ones trying to get rid of them. Because, and the communist part of the party are completely silent. And as I said, I think it's too late. I think they've completely lost this party to Bernie Sanders and the commies.
Well, they're going to try.
They're
going to try to root out Bernie and AOC and Ilhan Omar and the rest. You're right. They're not going to be successful. The party is going to be forever damaged.
Party is a communist party now, and I want to wake up the American voters, not just the Republicans, not just the Trumpers. You realize, Brian, that these people have so much bad derangements in them for President Trump that their whole platform is, we don't care who we stick in there, communists, whatever, we got to beat Trump. This is what they're running on. They're running on completely free health care for the country. Yeah. I'm going to say something to you really fast. I never let anyone know this. I've gone to the VA hospital exactly one time in my life, and you know why? I had impacted wisdom teeth. I got there at 8 o'clock in the morning and sat on a bench along with a bunch of people sitting there waiting to get. And at 1:30 in the afternoon, after a lunch break, they took me in, and they finally got me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I sat all day waiting, and they looked at me and they said, "We can't do anything for you. It's not service connected." I walked out and said, "I'm not going back to this place." That was socialized medicine. I've seen people on my bus. I used to take them there 8 o'clock in the morning, women that were pregnant, go to the health department in Broward County, sitting like paupers all day long, coming at 3 o'clock to go back home and having to go back. It's just disgusting.
But see, you don't understand. The Democrat socialist, these communists, they don't, I believe, I mentioned this a couple times a week or two ago. There's a few years ago, a video circulated of Bernie Sanders when he was younger in the 80s, drunk, drinking vodka with a bunch of guys in Moscow during the Soviet Union days, before the fall of the wall.
Communist.
I believe Bernie Sanders may be more than a communist. He may be a Russian asset, and he's led this entire communist revolution. He's founded it and led it.
Did you notice that? You're right. Did you notice that woman that won her primary in I believe it's Colorado? That commie. She, in her acceptance speech, that she was screaming and changed her demeanor completely. Like she looked
got
like
angry.
Hitler up there.
She came out of character.
She literally said, and she said the word oligarchy. And all they thought about was Bernie Sanders. Mm-hmm. These people are just images of this commie.
Yeah.
If you want this country to be Bernie Sanders, non-productive, lazy, non-working people, do you know that New York City voted for Mandani? Do you have any idea about the demographics? Right. I think it's 40% of the people in New York were actually born in New York City. The rest are illegals and foreigners that are in there, and they don't care. Yeah. All they care about is free stuff.
So, if you factor,
Medicare.
You're right. Yeah, hey, Richard, I got to move on, but I appreciate the call. And if you factor in, we're going into this midterm in a way we've never gone into anything before. Think about this, okay? We've got the Democrat Civil War. They've just handed us Maine, okay? But we've got the Democrat Civil War where the Democrats, we saw this, we've seen this in the Republican Party, right? The Republican Party establishment tried to lose the last presidential election. They didn't want Trump's return. They wanted to have Willie Brown's girlfriend, Kamala Harris, more than they wanted Donald Trump reelected, right? If you go back to the Tea Party, there was a major Tea Party revolution in the Republican Party in 2010. In 2012, most of them were gone, right? They went out, the Republican establishment have actively worked to lose national elections just so they can maintain control of the party. We used to talk about it a lot. The Democrats would rather lose this is what we used to say about Republicans. The Democrat establishment have made a decision that they would rather lose elections than lose control of their party. And that's what's going on right now. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What? Oh, no, not you. Okay, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, hold on one second, guys. Hold on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Anthony from New York, the red side.
Okay, what's up?
How you doing?
All right, Anthony in New York.
Awesome. I think the Democrats are changing up their strategy because up until now they thought they were going to be able to rig a bunch of elections in order to get their people in, like they did.
No,
in,
everything has nothing to do with that. No, what's happened is they thought they could control these Democrat socialists, and they realized they've already taken over, and Mamdani and Bernie Sanders are becoming the Democrat Party bosses, and they're working to stop it. You know, they have lost. You know, when they had those Democrat socialist kids win in New York City a couple weeks ago, and they started blaming us for 9/11, came out against interracial marriage because they don't like white people and all this stuff. Remember, James Carville, Rahm Emanuel, and others started panicking, and that's when they realized they've lost their party.
Yeah,
all right. Appreciate the call from the red side. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
You know, I just think it was pretty funny you mentioned Bernie Sanders. And I don't know if it was AI or not, but I heard Bernie Sanders say, "I want to be perfectly clear. I want to take their money, not my money." You know, so I mean, if that was really true, this guy's nuts.
What? What did he say? I don't know what you're talking.
I want to be perfectly clear. I want to take their money, talking about the rich people, not my money. He's a rich guy anyway.
I guess you had to be there, Doug. I don't know. I kind of get it, but okay.
I mean, anyway, like I said, you know, I think that this idea that I've been hearing about the blue MAGA, I think maybe that's want to take over the party. They want to be like MAGA, but their own side of it, and get rid of the Graham Platinum. Maybe part of the plot to get rid of him. But I said to somebody who's liberal, how are you going to support? You're Jewish. How are you going to support somebody who's Graham Platinum? You know, a Nazi who hates everybody. Mm-hmm. Oh well, he's one of us.
Really, a Nazi who's accused of rape? I don't know who would say that's one of us, unless you're on the prison yard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, hey Doug, I got to run. If you're on hold, stand by. The number's toll free 888-465-2631. Are you in pain? Then go see Dr. Philip Appleton. The consultation is free, and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. You know, Dr. Appleton's laser weight pain treatment works. You know, it's an FDA-cleared procedure. It's not only is it painless because there's no shots and no injections, you don't even feel it when you're being treated. You don't even feel it. I just sit there while I'm having the treatment, and I doom scroll on my phone or watch some YouTube or something. And it takes just a few short minutes, and it works on every type of pain I've ever heard. I have met so many listeners in this audience who have gotten their lives back because their pain is gone thanks to Dr. Philip Appleton. The laser therapy of Dr. Appleton's treats arthritis, bursitis, bone-on-bone pain, TMJ, gout, pre- and post-surgical pain, neck and back injuries, knee conditions. Many of these I used to have. Tinnitus, sciatica, spinal stenosis, fibromyalgia, plantar fasciitis. I knew someone with plantar fasciitis. Oh my goodness, that's the worst. Rotary tears, herniated disc, acute chronic pain, and so much more. Give Dr. Appleton a call. Remember, there's no shots, no injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime, and it's 100% painless. Say bye-bye to your pain. Call Dr. Philip Appleton, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, Appleton Cairo. Oh, hold on, Jake Tapper. And online at AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we'll be back. Stand by.
As parents, we all want our children to know Jesus, trust Him, and build a strong foundation of faith. But sometimes, knowing where to start can feel overwhelming. That's why author William Saunders Sr. created a Bible Center collection of engaging Christian books designed to help children learn about God in a simple, meaningful, and encouraging way with Growing with Jesus Kids series, 4-book series available on Amazon. Start with Who is Jesus?, where children discover who Jesus is. why he came and how much he loves them. Then, Book 2, Foundations of Faith, helping young believers understand the core truths of Christianity and build confidence in God's Word. And explore Miracles of Jesus, where children experience the amazing works of Christ while learning important lessons about faith, compassion, and God's power. And finally, Book 4, Fruits of the Spirit, helps children understand how the Holy Spirit grows love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control in their lives. Each book includes scripture-based lessons, reflection questions, memory verses, activities, and practical applications that help children connect biblical truth to their everyday life. Growing with Jesus Kids series is perfect for family devotions, homeschooling lessons, Sunday school classes, Christian schools, and church ministries. If you're searching for a trusted resource to help your children grow closer to Jesus and develop a lifelong faith, order your copies of the Growing with Jesus Kids series 4-book series from author William Saunders Sr. on Amazon. How would you like to create professional documents in seconds instead of hours? You could do just that with DocAssistAI.pro, the AI-powered platform that helps you create, sign, send, and manage documents with ease. Need a contract, agreement, NDA, employment letter, or other business document? Just describe what you need in plain English, and DocAssistAI.pro creates a professional document in seconds. Need signatures? Send legally binding e-signature request with secure email verification, complete audit trails, and real-time tracking. Already have your own PDF? Upload it and collect signatures in just a few clicks. Working with a long contractor report? DocAssistAI.pro can even generate an AI-powered summary so you can understand the key points fast. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Visit DocAssistAI.pro. That's DocAssistAI.pro. Create, sign, send smarter with DocAssistAI.pro.
All right, we'll be back in 30 seconds, guys. Hang in there. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. Ten seconds. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Call us on hold. Hang in there. Okay, so I want to play some of these clips from the Jake Tapper interview with Graham Platner's rape accuser. This is the most bizarre rape allegations I've heard when you go through the whole thing. So this is it.
Something you said that I just want to find out more about. You said he was forcing himself on you. It was getting violent. You were pushing him off. You were kicking him off. Needles and sewing equipment was falling all over. And walk us through the process where you decided that the safest thing you could do was just let him rape you.
Yeah. I had never been in that situation before, and I remember it being an instant where I had recognized that he wasn't listening to me. It wasn't just that he wasn't hearing me or whatnot. And then I recognized his level of intoxication, and I knew in that moment I wasn't safe. And I don't think I was safe to physically fight back. He's big, he's strong. And I just had to evaluate my safety and come up with the least worst outcome to the situation. And so I felt like complying for my safety was the least worst option.
But that's not consenting.
No, complying is not consenting.
Complying is letting him rape you.
Is getting it over with.
So that he didn't hurt you even more?
I don't know what this person is capable of. I don't think anybody does. And even people you know for years and trust, you don't know the depths of what they're capable of. And
you were afraid for your safety.
Yeah, I was afraid for my safety.
Beyond. Not that rape isn't a horrific thing, but beyond.
Right.
Rape.
I didn't want to find out how unsafe I could get that night.
Okay. So, that's a very believable story. There's no question about it. But then she says something that is so crazed. I've never heard something quite like this from a rape victim. It doesn't take away from her story, and I do believe her, not just because I don't like Graham Platner, but it fits in with his personality type. But what the reason she didn't say anything.
I know that you have been very reluctant to tell this story.
Yeah.
Very reluctant. Why did you ultimately decide to do it? Why come forward?
A few reasons. One of the biggest ones is that I think that there are a lot of men in this world relying on the silence of women and to be where they are. And I don't want to contribute to that. I also want to just get my life back.
There are going to be people, maybe even his campaign, certainly his supporters, who say this is politically motivated. What would you say to that?
I couldn't disagree more. That was actually one of the reasons that I didn't come out.
Because you agree with his politics.
I do. I really agree with his politics. I think we need somebody with those political stances and who are willing to do the work. And
it's crazy. Think about this. So she agrees with him politically. She's energized by his political commercials and speeches. And she's a Democrat socialist, communist, obviously, who also has severe Trump derangement syndrome. So because they agree politically, she's kept silent about a man she claims raped her.
Reasons that I didn't come out.
Because you agree with his politics.
I do. I really agree with his politics. I think we need somebody with those political stances and who are willing to do the work. And I see his political videos. They get me fired up as well. I understand why people want someone like him in office. And I felt like me coming forward would potentially take that away.
Oh my goodness. See, the communist revolution is more important than the rape allegation.
And I felt really uncomfortable with the responsibility and the weight of my story and what that might do.
When people hear this from you, are you saying you should not vote for him because of what happened?
I'm not going to go as far as to say that. I'm just here to tell my story, to give a clearer picture of who he is and the type of past that he has. And
wow.
I just think it's fair to the democratic process to let people know who they're voting for.
Who they're voting for, yeah. I mean, some hardcore stuff. All right, let's take some more calls for the bottom of the hour break. You're on the air. What's your name? Well, no, not you. Oh, my goodness. Almost had to get that one, Mike, but I did a preemptive. I could hear it coming. If you're on hold, stand by, okay? I just want to recap what we're talking about here before we break at the bottom, because I think it's, when we talk about news stories and topics in the news, we don't want to bury the lead, or what's often called the hook of the story, okay? And this isn't about sitting around hearing a woman making a rape allegation, part of the Me Too movement and all this stuff. There's that angle. But the main thing is what happened here, okay? What happened here? The Democrats have known about this woman and her story for weeks. There was a New York Times piece where another woman gave more details. She was a Republican. They discounted it. They talked to her too. He was very, very well vetted before you and I even heard of Graham Platner. They knew about all these things and they didn't care. These stories have come out from the Democrat Party establishment. Politico, if you read the Politico article, which is very detailed, but she goes through most of the details in the Tapper interview, they spent 2 weeks investigating her allegations. They didn't just take her at her word. They interviewed her multiple times. And remember, Politico is a Democrat establishment news outlet. They always have been. They interviewed her extensively. They talked to friends, a boyfriend. They went through text message exchanges she's had with friends and a boyfriend. They even spoke to friends. They even looked at communication she had with her therapist. So they have 3 or 4 other corroborating witnesses and voices, including multiple written text messages of everything that had happened. And if you look, so Politico is a Democrat establishment publication. They started this investigation 2 weeks ago, they said, when the story dropped yesterday. Well, that's right after these Democrat socialist victories, and Rahm Emanuel and others, like James Carville, started saying, we got to fight these people. We can't support these Democrat socialists. They put Politico at work. Politico dropped the story, and the same day Politico dropped it, CNN drops an in-studio, a sit-down interview with the alleged victim, with Jake Tapper. This did not just happen overnight. The Democrat establishment are bringing down Platner. They've made a decision to lose the Senate race in Maine to the Republican, Susan Collins. And they're fighting to lose more elections around the country with Democrat socialists. They don't want Democrat socialists gaining seats in their party in the Congress because they're about to lose their party. All right, now we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Let me check here. What is it? I've lost. Oh, yeah, we are. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
What does it really mean to be the richest person in history? Find out in The Valuation King, how Musk used equity and exits to become the most powerful founder alive. Available on Amazon. This must-read book compares 2 legendary empire builders separated by more than 600 years. Mansa Musa, the ruler whose legendary wealth transformed economies, and Elon Musk, the modern entrepreneur who redefined how fortunes are built in the 21st century. The Valuation King uses real financial records, SEC filings, court documents, as well as in-depth research, uncovering the powerful strategies behind today's biggest fortunes. When you read The Valuation King, you'll learn how equity can become greater than cash and explore the financial playbook that has changed business forever. Whether you're an investor, entrepreneur, business owner, or simply fascinated by wealth and innovation, The Valuation King offers an eye-opening look at one of the most remarkable financial stories ever told. Order your copy of The Valuation King, how Musk used equity and exits to become the most powerful founder alive, on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited.
On the line is Jamie LeeZep from Swift Tax. You know, Jamie, a lot of people haven't filed their taxes in years and years. And every time the mailman comes by, they're afraid that they're going to get that certified letter. And then there's a lot of people out there that already have judgments from the IRS that they owe money, a lot of money, from past years. But those people, neither of them have anything to worry about because you can help them out, right?
Of course, Brian. If you're out there and you've recently received a CP 2000 or any letter from the IRS and it looks like another language to you, give me a call. I'm more than happy to help you out, walk you through the process, and show you how we can not only save you money, but stop stressing about the IRS. The IRS can induce a lot of stress, and I'm here to help you out and take that worry off of your shoulder at the end of the day. There's nothing I can't help you with, whether you owe money, whether you've gotten a notice recently and you really don't know how to go about it, whether you have years that are unfiled and you don't have transcripts or copies of any of those IRS documentation, give me a call. There's nothing I can't help you with.
Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax can help you no matter where you are located in the United States. And you know, Jamie, a lot of companies, you were telling me about this, and this blew my mind. A lot of companies I hear advertising nationally charge a boatload of money, and you're going to help people for just a small fraction of what those big national companies are charging.
Absolutely, Brian.
We are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Hey, Steve, good morning.
Good morning to you.
All right, lots of confusion going on the phones, but I'm trying to get a hold of somebody. Oh, well, a lot's happening today.
But what are we...
Well, the Graham Platner story is the big one. I mean, this is just the biggest one at all.
What do you see as the question with the Platner story? What do you see as the issue?
Well, he's being accused of rape and sexual assault by multiple women, on top of the fact that he's a Nazi. So that's a bit of the issue. That's one of them.
Well, what's the important question here? I'll tell you what I think. I think the big question is this going to be the point in the narrative where all of a sudden things turn around because things haven't been going too well lately for the country, because these commies have pretty much had their way politically with all these wins, and they've created the illusion that they're unbeatable and that they're now the new replacement for the old Democratic Party, which is not the case.
Yeah.
And the question is, will this be the moment in history where things turn around for the Democrats and the socialists? In other words, is this going to be the moment that we'll look back on and say it all started with the Platner hubbub, and then it continued.
Yeah. Well, no.
What's
happened? This is what's happened. Okay. After those big Democrat socialists have had a few big victories. They had these nutbags in New York City win. They had this lunatic in Colorado win last week.
Well, they haven't had a loss. I mean, they're really on the street.
Yeah, and they've got this Muslim guy. I forgot his name, but in Michigan, that's a favorite to win. He's running in the Senate, and there's others. And 2 weeks ago is when they had those New York victories, and the Democrat establishment viewed the Democrat socialist as useful idiots, and they underestimated them. And what's happened here is the Democrat socialists have taken over the party, and the Republican establishment, they're a little late to the game, but they're trying to save the party. So everything that came out with Graham Platner with this rape allegation yesterday all came from the Democrat establishment, had nothing to do with a single Republican. And the Democrat establishment...
Well, I think that's true.
Yeah. And that race, I don't care what they tell you about the polls. They got 8 different stories about the polls. The seat was in play. The seat was in play. Okay?
Absolutely.
And
it was the one seat in the Senate that they felt fairly confident they could win.
Yeah.
And now that's up in smoke.
Yeah, and so so think about this. The Democrat Party establishment, not these Democrat socialist communists. I'm talking about the James Carville Clinton wing, Rahm Emanuel. They have made a decision. The Democrat establishment made a decision to lose the Senate race in Maine. As crazy as that sounds, they made a decision to lose that seat because they're trying to stop the Democrat socialist takeover of their party. That's been my premise of the program today. And that's exactly what has happened. And Graham Platner, who refers to himself as we now as opposed to me, his ego's gotten just through the roof, and he's not going. They've been probably trying to get him to drop out, but he's refused to, so they hit him with this big one last night.
I don't know what I saw on television last night when Platner made his statement. Sounds to me like he's already resigned to be out of there.
No, he released a video statement saying it's not true. And
well, what is he going to say? But I mean, it sounds to me like this was the prep for his withdrawal from the race.
Well, the media are everybody but Platner knows that. Platner's fighting it so far. Now that may be.
He doesn't seem to be fighting very hard from what I saw last night.
Yeah, but the Democrats, see, not only are we going to win the midterms, the Democrats aren't even trying to win the midterms. In fact, they want to lose a lot of these seats in the midterms, the Democrats, because they don't want these Democrat socialists to win and get sworn in to Congress. Now, how far they're going to go, I don't know. You know, there's going to be they may mobilize to vote Republican in some of these races, because if the Democrat socialists have these victories in November, they're done, and that's how they make all of their money. Their Medicaid scams and all these things will be gone. All right, do you want to take some calls? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's do that. I'd be interested.
Okay, all right. The number is 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Emilio, Phoenix.
All right, Phoenix.
What's up, Phoenix? Good.
Oh, I live in Phoenix. My name is Emilio.
Yep, we heard that. You called us. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to ask you a bit about kind of your take on this situation because, I guess, you were saying earlier that you believe the story of the woman who accused Graham Platner, and I guess I'm just curious why you feel that her story is true.
Oh, as
the
opposed...
the same reason that I think the Platner story is untrue. He's an unconvincing liar, and the other lady, when you watch her, there are people that are sensitive enough to pick up, can tell the difference between truth and a lie. And Platner last night was a great example of somebody that just has no credibility. He was talking, there's something worse than an actor, and that's a bad actor. And that's what Platner is. He's unconvincing. Did you believe what he was saying when he looked into the camera and came up with all that BS?
No, I definitely believe the woman. I just don't know why we wouldn't extend that same consideration to the women who have accused Donald Trump of rape.
Like who, E. Jean Carroll?
Yeah.
Tell me why you believe. Hold on. You have the answer yourself. Tell me why you believe the woman. You just said you believe the woman. Well, why do you believe her?
In the Graham Norton case?
Yes, that's the one we're talking about, right?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I brought up Jean Carroll, so I wasn't sure which way we were going to go.
Well, I'm telling you which way we're going to go. I want you to tell me why you know, and
like Brian was saying,
2 minutes ago on the air, what you just said that you believe her.
I believe her because, like Brian was saying, for the past 2 weeks, the Democratic Party has, researched this. Politico and CNN have come out.
That's why you believe her? What about what she said? Have you seen her testify? Did you see her on television?
That's what I'm saying. I'm referencing a CNN interview.
See, with you, I see. This is so interesting because
I didn't understand what he just said.
Well, he doesn't understand what he said either, Steve, because he's confused. He's got this talking point that he's trying to project. This is the new spin.
No, Brian.
Don't disagree with me until I've made my statement, so it'll sound like meaningful disagreement. This is going to be a new talking point today. It's the first time. I'm surprised it took this long to get it. I was waiting for this call. Why do you believe her and not E. Jean Carroll? Right? If you listen to this woman's interview on CNN, she gave incredible amounts of detail. E. Jean Carroll won't even tell us what year it happened in, right? When one of the most famous men in the world came into one of the most public department stores in the most populated city on earth, and nobody noticed this famous man walking in doing such things. There's nothing about E. Jean Carroll that's anything but not credible. This woman is incredibly credible with a lot of detail. And she's also not laughing about calling rape sexy like E. Jean Carroll did on CNN. Get it, Emilio?
Well, I guess what I totally understand what you're saying. I do understand, Brian, why... Huh?
What? Huh?
Brian, I understand why you think there's a difference between the E. Jean Carroll situation and this Graham Platner situation.
Why?
And I think,
tell the audience what it is. Since you see the difference, I want you to tell the audience what you see.
You're putting words in my mouth. I don't see the difference. I'm saying I understand why Brian sees the difference. However, the reason I brought this up is more just to talk about the wider political strategy that Brian was mentioning in terms of the Democrats sort of maybe withholding this story because they wanted to sort of punish Democrat socialists.
Thank you for your call. Nothing to say.
No, well, not only, let me put everybody on hold here. not only nothing to say, Steve, but he got thrown off because I don't care what that guy says. He was a seminar caller. And they're starting, and what happens, having a conversation with a seminar caller is like trying to have a conversation with a telemarketer, on well, why don't you believe E. Jean Carroll, but you believe her? This is going to be what their spin is, and that's just not going to fly. All right, let me take another call, Steve. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ronan, talking from Michigan. Hey, can I talk to the other guy, though?
Who's the other guy?
You'll talk to just both of us. Just go.
I already know Brian. I already know what you're talking about. Hey, so the other guy.
Talk to me. Go. Talk to me, my friend. What's your name? Give me a first name.
I got.
Ronan. Okay, Ronan. Go ahead. What's your question?
I got a question. So, how are we okay with? This is a simple question. How are we okay with corporate welfare just because they create jobs, but we're not cool with welfare?
What corporate welfare are you talking about?
Like CHIPS and Science Act and the Inflation Reduction Act that doesn't really help people. But
what's the welfare part? What's the welfare part?
If we giving subsidies and tax breaks and all these things for these corporate companies, and the only reason why we're saying we're doing it is because they create jobs, but we won't do it for the American public. And we get all up in arms about it.
What do you mean we don't? Why do you say we don't do it for the American public? Of course we do. There's all kinds of. Were you watching the news yesterday? I'm answering your question.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I just did.
You're talking above his ability to comprehend, Steve. Did you hear what he just said? Steve, what this guy just said. What this guy just said.
Say it again.
He was calling corporate welfare.
Brian, let me talk to him.
I'm talking to Steve right now. I will talk to who I want to talk to. Hold on, caller.
All right, let's not bigger. So what were you referring to when you talk about corporate welfare?
Okay, when I say corporate welfare, the subsidies and tax breaks that companies get, corporations get.
Tax cuts are not welfare. Tax cuts are not welfare.
Jesus. Oh my God, bro. If I can just finish the thought, bro. You always do this to me, man.
I know.
I'm just saying. When they give tax breaks and subsidies, or when they say, hey, you can have this government money to build these AI.
I don't know. Open Phones is on Friday. All right, hit the dump button, Mike. You had to hear that one closely. Okay. Oh my goodness. First time we had to use the dump button today. All right, Steve. We're up on a break, so I'm gonna put you and everybody on hold. All right. And we're going to talk about coastal weight loss secret. If you're on hold, stand by. This is very important. Coastal weight loss secret. And you guys know I've lost a lot of weight. I look great. I feel great. I've got my neck back. I've got my jawline back. I've got a flat stomach. I all did it with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, without exercise, without starving myself, eating foods I would normally eat, and without any shots or injections. It's absolutely amazing. It works. I've been on one weight loss program my entire life. It's called Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I lost the weight. I've kept it off. And I reached my goal weight well over a year ago, and I haven't gained back an ounce. And right now, in honor of America's 250th 4th of July, Coastal Weight Loss Secret is offering $400 off. That's right, $400 off. Now, this will end without notice. It is for a limited time, but I haven't gotten the email yet. So call right now, say $400 off. Remember, Coastal Weight Loss Secret can help you lose weight no matter where you're located in America or the world. $400 off right now, 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. We'll be right back. Okay, 1 minute. We'll be back in 1 minute. By the way, the guy said the S word, Steve. That's why we don't said the S word, which is his typical word. He can't. He goes. All right, 10 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane is here. You know, Steve, attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group is offering an amazing discount on his legal services with your revocable living trust for America's 250th birthday. Okay, and he announced this last week, but it was a holiday week, and it is continuing this week. Okay, so when you call, you have to mention this special. Attorney Barry Siegel is offering $1,000 off. $1,000 off. $250 times 4. Okay, for America's 250th birthday. $1,000 off. So I'm going to give you the number for the Siegel Law Group. Give them a call. Make sure you mention this special. It's the 4th of July 250th Anniversary of America special with the Siegel Law Group. $1,000 off. Okay, so here's the number. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. That's 855-FLA-3782. All right, you want to go back to the phone, Steve?
I'm here.
All
Let's go.
All right, let's go. And if you notice, every liberal that's called today wants to talk about anything other than the topic on the table. Have you noticed that? They want to talk about taxes and corporate welfare and E. Jean Carroll, anything other than the news of the day. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. My name's Nikki. I'm from Pennsylvania. I called before.
Mm-hmm.
I love your show. I want to tell you that Steve is a rock star, so I want to let him know that as well.
Well, thank you.
You're kind.
I love listening to both of you. You have the patience of a saint to take on these ignorant liberals, really. I do surveys for a living, political surveys, and I have to bite my tongue every time I'm, surveying a liberal. They just are so out of touch with everything. They really are.
Yeah, and a lot of them sound intoxicated, high, or just bums that live with their parents still. There's a lot of that too. And mental illness, let's not leave that out.
And what's really sad is, and this is my thoughts, I am a baby boomer, and a lot of them are the white liberal baby boomer women. I can't figure it out, and I'm totally the opposite of them. I'm I'm very conservative, but their thought process, I just don't know where they're coming from. I really don't. It's scary.
They're coming from an education system that's broken. That's the problem.
True.
The schools are different today than they were when we were young.
You mean your teacher
didn't?
didn't?
When I watched the 4th of July celebration, and you see all these Americans standing up with tears running down their cheeks, and who love their country and who understand what's going on, you realize what we've got here. And these people are trying to destroy it.
You mean your teacher wasn't a guy in a dress with green hair with a transgendered flag in the classroom? That's not.
I was afraid of my teachers back in the day. I mean, I was just, you got to be respectful. And the Pledge of Allegiance, I fought with my daughter. They told her in the I don't remember, I'm trying to think, 2000 maybe or something. They didn't have to stand for the flag. And I said, you better stand up and pledge allegiance every day. I don't care if they give you a choice. I just couldn't figure that. That's when I noticed.
It's privileged to have a mother like you. And your kids should be grateful.
Well, thank you. My husband's a Marine, so I think a lot of that came from that too. My father was in the Air Force. So,
all right.
Yeah, but definitely love your show. Keep going. You're doing amazing. And again, you both have the patience of a saint.
That's
dealing
true.
with those very
I'll agree
dumb
with that.
liberals.
I'll agree with that. All right, you take care.
Some days more than others.
All right, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. All right, take care. Hold on. All the phones are ringing off the hook. Okay, let's take some more calls. Maybe we'll get a liberal that's going to actually condemn Graham Platner. I don't think we've had that yet. One guy said he believed her but didn't seem to care. Okay, let's go. All right, you back with us, Steve? Did I lose you? Hold on. I think I lost. Did I lose Steve? Steve, are you there? I lost the call. I lost the line with Steve, but we're up against the break, so I'll take another call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hey, Uncle Steve, IV. Good morning. How you been?
I lost Steve. I'm going to call him back. All right, so let me get Steve back on the line here. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know where Steve went, but we lost him. The rest of you want to hold, hang in there, and we'll go back to the busy phones. All right, you back with us, Steve?
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
all right, let's go. Let's take some more of these calls. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ryan, why can't we have a normal conversation?
It's one call per day, and you know that, all right? I mean, give me a break. And that's the guy that we had to hit the dump for, okay? All right, you ready? You want to take another call, Steve?
Yeah, I guess, but I would have liked to shout at him.
I had to dump him on his last call. He can't use profanity and call back 5 minutes later. I got to have, some rules. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
IB and Brower.
Hey, IB.
Get Steve back?
Yep.
IB, what's up? Yes.
Hey, how you been? It's kind of really ironic how always in any kind of an election, at the apex of it, the Democrat machine always comes up with a sexual situation. To make it really quick, I want to know how much new money, how much more money is in her account? What is she gaining from this? And I also want to know, when was the police report made? This is very interesting. Okay, I told you guys to sit back, get your popcorn, and we're gonna watch them devour each other like a snake eating another snake, like what's going on in the Everglades right now. Okay. And this is what's going on. It's a beauty to watch them self-destruct. And I would call them blue blood Democrats. And Trump is getting rid of the blue blood Republicans. Am I still there?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I would check. So quiet, I was shocked that Ryan wasn't saying anything yet. But to see this happen at this moment this goes to show you that the Democrats only care about the power. Rush Limbaugh always said the only way to defeat them is to vote them out. They don't care. Power is money. Money is power. Greed is greed. So we're not going to let them control us. And then now they're going to be dominated by the bigger snake, the Muslims trying to take us over. We're not going to let it happen, because the Americans defeated the redcoats because they used to hunt squirrels. Okay, this is how they got good at shooting. The redcoats were moving in formation, okay, in a group. Look at how they charge people and attack them in the violence, and they're always in groups. Singly, they're cowards. Together, they bum rush one person, always 4, 5, 6 of them. They're cowards. And Americans, we're going to pick up our muskets and our powder, and we're going to take them down. And Trump is doing it in the Congress, and we're going to do it on the street. Bingo.
Okay. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Let's take another one.
American Patriot.
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes. Good morning, guys. This is Blind Colonizer from Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Hello, guys. Good morning.
Yes.
Mr. Craig, I think you hit an all-time low when you were saying those comments about that so-called commie that won in Colorado. You kept calling her an idiot.
Yes.
She has a JD from Notre Dame University.
So what?
Do you think
so what? Kamala Harris is a lawyer. Jasmine Crockett's an attorney. So what? A lot of idiots pass the bar, go to law school.
Yeah, but she's your daughter. She's 29. Why? I mean, what if I were to call your daughter an idiot?
Well, my daughter doesn't go around doing television interviews telling people that the United States caused these terrorists to attack us on 9/11.
Well,
you're not suggesting we take away her right. Hold on. You're not suggesting we take away her right of free speech, are you?
You're talking to Brian is the one saying that.
No, I'm asking you.
No. She has free speech. But what I'm saying, I think if she did say that, she's referring to America always intervenes in foreign affairs.
That's right. It's our responsibility. We're running the planet. Do you understand that?
I understand we're the world's police or whatever you call it, but the free world, leaders of the free world. But during the 6-Day War, the 79-8 war, whatever, America saved the people's tails. You know, America and the UK was the one who always intervenes in all these wars.
Mm-hmm.
And we're saving America's tail today.
That's right.
Haven't you figured that out yet?
Okay. Lastly, Brian said that Ethiopian history is useless. You guys, I assume, are both Christians. I'm agnostic Christian. But are you familiar with the Ark of the Covenant? It's located in Ethiopia.
I saw Raiders. I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark. Sure. How could I not be familiar? All right, listen. We're out of time for the hour.
Okay. Lastly,
there's no time for lastly. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be back with your calls after this. All right. See, but can't talk about that now because everybody can hear us. I'm having some computer problems today, but we're gonna have to do that tomorrow. I think because I'm overloaded today.
But we got to make it a priority starting tomorrow.
Okay, but don't say what it is because I'm having some.
I understand.
I'm having
but
some.
not just once. I mean,
I understand. I just hold on. I'm having some computer problems, so which is not good while we're on the air. Not good at all. Not a good time to have computer problems. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
all right, hold on.
I gotta go to work.
Okay, hold on. Put you on hold. Hold on. Okay. Are you there, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Now.
Hold on. We got a couple minutes still. Not good. Okay, we got about 2 minutes. Oh my god, now I know. Okay. Unbelievable. All right, I'm going to put you on hold for a second, Steve. Hold on. All right. Okay, I got the computer problem fixed. Thank gosh. We were almost off the air. But we're not. About a minute. All right, 30 seconds.
Hello?
Yeah, we got 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig, and a lot of you guys don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and which you don't need to know. But the last 20 to 30 minutes have been very stressful because I've been having major computer problems, which have been remedied, by the way, just moments ago. But by me, I fixed it. It was not easy, but it was affecting everything, and almost knocked us off the air. And plus on top, I'm here working out all these computer problems behind the scenes while we're on the air with these callers that want to talk about we got a lot of liberals today. They don't want to talk about the story of the day for obvious reasons. And if this was, I don't know, a year ago, a little less than a year ago, I would have been very worried. But the last 20 or 30 minutes have been incredibly stressful because I did not know that I had the heart of a 25-year-old a year ago, right? Because I'm 55, I have high cholesterol, and until I went to life imaging, I thought that I was just a heart attack waiting to happen. And you go in there for that heart scan and you get peace of mind that you've got a clean bill of health and that I have no blockage in my arteries, I have no plaque buildup, and I have the heart of a 25-year-old man. These stressful times aren't as stressful as they used to be because I would always worry, I better cool off, I might have a heart attack. Not anymore. And I'll tell you, Life Imaging have locations in Broward, Palm Beach, Dade, and Orlando. All right, so there's a location convenient to anyone in our listening audience. There is no excuse to not take control of your health and go in and get that heart scan, okay? You can get peace of mind like I've done, or like many in this audience, find out that you've got heart conditions or even cancers that you didn't know about and had no symptoms for. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. You will be connected in seconds. All right, Steve, now that we've gotten through the stress of the technical problems, now let's hope for some better quality callers. You want to take some more calls?
Sure.
Okay, the last few calls have been, nothing to brag about. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Steve and Brian. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, Steve. I think this, Platner to me is just, he's one part of the two-front war that's going on with the Democrats. We as Republicans, we've got the rhinos, right? We've got MAGA good people trying to throw out the old cartel of corruption, if you will, of the rhinos. But in the Democrat Party, they're all corrupt. You've got corrupt Democrats versus the corrupt SOCOMs, the new Socialist Communist Party. And their battle is about who gets to keep the corrupt cash register of the political party, sort of the war for the grift. And I don't think this could play out any better for us as MAGA, quite frankly, because the Democrats are also losing. The two-front war I'm talking about is the external war, which is their lie against the truth. That's the lie against we the people. And they're losing that war. People are waking up, and people are just catching on. They're figuring out they've been lied to. But on the second part, their internal destruction, I just don't think it could get. I don't know how it could get any better. And I think the discussion about E. Jean Carroll, while ridiculous, was, pathetic and ridiculous. I mean, E. Jean Carroll could be, if you developed a scale of credibility, going to the left, not being credible. I don't know how far. You need a pretty long page, because she would be so far. She is just. It's so ridiculous, this woman, and all this crap that's happening with her. And then compared to this woman I saw, Brian, and you saw her, I think she was one of the calmest. I just thought she was very credible. And I don't give CNN a lot of credit. I don't think there's anything virtuous about CNN. I just think they love the they love the slime. They love the slime. That's where they live.
Exactly.
So I think this is great. It's just great that this is happening. And a big thing, quite honestly, you mentioned during the show is
let's hope that it's what we just got to hope that they follow through with this. I mean, the Democrats are on a roll policing themselves for the first time since this thing began. We got to hope it's not a one-shot deal. We got to hope that. I mean, I never thought I'd be rooting for Democratic candidates, but at a certain point in crucial elections,
I'm not rooting for Democrat candidates. I'm rooting for the civil war inside their party to grow.
Yeah. Well, the gang war. I think what you're saying, Steve, there is in a particular Democrat winning a primary. It's almost. It keeps the gang war going within the party. So I can see that turmoil, and because really it's a gang war. It's a bunch of criminals fighting over who gets to keep the.
But sure, and you got to see where it goes from here. This is a turning point. I mean, this is a crossroads. Is probably a better phrase, and to see what happens from here. In other words, will other establishments? Did you ever think we'd be rooting for the establishment of the Democratic Party? But right now, somebody's got to knock off these phony Democratic liberals, and if we're not going to, if they're not going to do it, we got to do it for them.
Well, Steve, what's happened here is it's one thing for these Democrat socialists to win a closed primary. It's another thing to win the general election. And win the general election without the Democrat Party machine behind you, which they're not going to have.
You got to be careful of talking yourself into something that's wish thinking. I'm sufficiently convinced there is a real threat here, aren't you?
Yeah, but
I would like to see. I would like to see. I understand what you're saying, Steve, and because there is the. There is a possibility that these wingnuts, these SOCOMs, do win the primary, and then they end up getting into the Senate. Or they end up getting into the House. I don't think that will happen. I would prefer that the traditional corrupt Democrat
JJ,
wins
there's this Muslim Democrat running for the Senate in Michigan, and
he doesn't have an accent. Have you heard that guy speak?
Yeah, but look at him.
He doesn't. I know.
I don't know who you're talking about.
There's a Muslim Saeed. What's his name? Abdul or something.
Yeah, Abdul Muhammad.
Yeah, something like that. And
he's like.
Yeah, but if he looks, he doesn't look like he sounds.
He doesn't look the part, Steve. He doesn't look the part, but he speaks like he's been here all his life. There's no accent or nothing. And that guy scares me. But what I was trying to get to in what you were saying, Steve, is that I would much rather have the gang war within the Democrat Party always be that the traditional corrupt Democrat wins, because these SOCOMs scare the hell out of me, and I think if they win, Steve, it's usually going to be in a place which is oversaturated with first generation or let's just say Muslims. That's what's kind of happening in New York in certain neighborhoods. So they can win in neighborhoods when everybody in the neighborhood is sort of corrupt. Corruption wins in a corrupt neighborhood, right? So, but I do agree that we have to be careful. But at the same time, I think it speeds up their corruption, this internal gang war that they're having.
Well, there's a video. I'm not going to play because there's profanity in it. But there's a video out of New York where a Muslim guy, he had a name, a new Muslim, and he was saying that this is a Muslim city, New York City. He has a name for it. I'll see if I can find it and tell you what the name he gave it was. But New York, these Democrat socialists that won in New York City, those are like uncontested seats. But some of these others around the country, like Maine and Colorado, that could be saved. But did you see, Steve, what happened with Elizabeth Warren yesterday?
No.
One of her former staff members went to the Ayatollah Khomeini's funeral in Iran. I don't even know how they made that trip. But, I mean, it's, you know, the Islamic takeover of the Democrat Party is pretty complete. I can't find that clip.
Brian, where was that
That's
story?
pretty scary.
That was Warren? That was one of Warren's people?
It was a former staffer, a woman. She went to the Ayatollah Khomeini's funeral this last week, in Iran. I don't know how she got there.
God. That's insane.
Isn't that crazy? Okay, yeah, so I can't play the video because there's a lot of stuff in there that I can't play on the radio. But it's on my X, and here's the headline of the story. Muslim goes viral shouting, "This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan, Mamdani's New York." And then he said, "Islam will be in every household." And that scares the living daylights out of people, I think.
It should. It should. I mean, they forgot about 9/11, but did they forget about 9/11?
Well, Elizabeth Warren's staffer that went to the Ayatollah's funeral, she's a white girl. She looks like she's from California, like a valley girl, in a hijab.
I saw a picture.
In a hijab.
I saw that picture, and I saw the picture, and I thought that might have been AI or something.
No, it was real.
It's a damn true story.
I had the story
That's
yesterday.
insane.
I had the story yesterday, and I didn't run with it because I couldn't believe it could be true.
I saw it. I thought it was AI. I don't blame you for that.
Yeah,
like
and
that,
it's
half
hard
the stuff
enough
you
to
see.
get. It's hard enough to get to Iran any day of the year, but during this war, I don't know how she got there.
Little help from her friends.
Yeah, Pocahontas.
Oh,
yeah. All right, JJ. All right, take care. I wanted to take a moment, Steve, to talk about Dr. Gupta and Brighton Dental. And
my dentist, my favorite dentist.
Yeah, and Dr. Gupta and Brighton Dental have been with us here on the Steve Kane Show. I don't know for how long, Steve. A long time. And you hear a lot of dentist advertising, painless dentistry. People don't go to the dentist because of the pain. That's true, and you don't have to worry about those issues with Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But I don't think the number one reason people avoid the dentist is the pain, because there's drugs for that, right? I think it's...
but when you choose a dentist, I mean, I'm one of those. I'm a bad pain. I can put up with a lot of pain, but not in dental work. I've got very sensitive teeth.
Yeah.
And I used to dread going to the dentist till I found Dr. Gupta. And I needed a lot of work by the time I got to Dr. Gupta. And he did a magnificent job. He relaxed me. He's an old-fashioned dentist. It reminds me of my dentist in New York when I was growing up, Dr. Humbert, a real nice guy. And he takes the anxiety out. If you're one of those people that finds dental work, as in the past, you found it unpleasant.
Yeah.
Dr. Gupta will take away all those fears and all those reservations, and you can get the work done that you need to have done by a guy who is the best of the best, Dr. Gupta.
Yeah, but I think it's beyond that, okay? I mean, obviously, when people think of dentists, you hear that, with the pain and everything, and that's certainly a factor, and, but I think the pain that people fear the most, I don't believe is the pain from the actual dental work as it is the pain from the price tag that a lot of dentists charge. And Dr. Gupta not only is an old-fashioned dentist, his prices are old-fashioned too.
Old-fashioned prices. That's
yeah,
great.
And his prices are from another era. They're not these Beverly Hills prices that you see on dentistry in South Florida. Okay, and his prices are so affordable. On top of the fact that he's a top dentist who has so many years of experience, and he's been with us here on the Steve Kane Show for many, many years for good reason. Give Dr. Gupta a call, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break and be right back. Okay, we got about 2 minutes. All right, you got 30 seconds.
I'm here.
All right, we are back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. I'm Brian. I was reading an article in the Daily Mail about the Belgian game last night. Now, I don't know anything about soccer, so I'm not rendering any opinions. But I was reading a lot of experts who do follow soccer. Did you see the game last night, Steve?
Yes, I did, unfortunately.
I mean, what I was reading today was beyond just a loss to Belgium, okay? It was like they said the team was playing worse than usual, which...
The whole game was sucked. I mean, it was a terrible game. The USA played a disappointing game.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the games in this tournament have been spectacular.
Well,
but last night was not one of them.
Was it? Did we? This is what these guys that are on Team USA a lot of them are not really, they may be American citizens, but they're from elsewhere. But they play on pro teams around the world, right? A lot of these guys in the World Cup?
Every story is different. You know, they have qualifications for which team you can apply for, and then the FIFA board kind of just arbitrates in the end who's qualified to go where.
Well, I'm just wondering if this game was lost by design. If forces made sure the United States did not win the World Cup.
No.
I was reading this article. Let me pull this article up, okay? Let me see if I can find this article. There was an article in the Daily Mail. I was just reading it this morning. Now I can't find it. And let me read through this article, and if I can find it, and talk about it, because everyone said that we had it locked up.
I mean, there's a lot of that's BS. Public relations. Everybody got diverted by this disastrous phantom red card issue, and I think that might have been distracting for them. I think there was a lot going on there that kept their mind off the match itself.
Yeah.
But it was very disappointing, to say the least.
Well, let me read this. This is in the Daily Mail today, okay? Disappointment quickly turned to anger on Monday night as USA fans turned on players and slammed their pathetic World Cup exit at the hands of Belgium. The woeful Americans conceded 4 goals in front of a sold-out crowd to end their adventure, falling well below what fans had hoped from the round of 16 game. Almost as soon as the final whistle had blown, fans took to social media to slam the team's performance, with one writing, "Embarrassing result. Optimist in me wants to hope there was enough positive in the World Cup to help the sport here in the U.S. Either way, gross way to go out." Another said, "The team didn't get off the bus tonight. 11 guys with moments of exceptions from about 3 of them who cannot handle the moment in any capacity whatsoever. Pathetic." Barstool Sports' Dave Portnoy was at the heart of the discourse as he made his feelings clear in a series of posts to X. This is Dave Portnoy, okay? "I don't want to hear that the future is bright for American soccer, that they should be proud. This was a disgusting effort. We're far closer to the bottom than the top, just not a soccer country. Embarrassing effort from the United States."
Ridiculous.
Yeah. "Lights were way too bright for the U.S. soccer team. Stage way too big. If we're going to keep creating international incidents over soccer, it may be time to institute a soccer draft." He went on to say, he referred to this is Dave Portnoy, he referred to Team USA as a clown show and also posted a video of himself ripping his shirt off to throw it in the trash. He said...
That's Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, there was a horrible game. I mean, there's no question of that. And we played like crap. That's true, but the good games and bad games.
But wasn't there...
This was a bad game.
What I'm wondering is, if these guys would have won, would they have been outcast in the world of soccer beyond the World Cup? Would they have been welcomed back on the teams they play on around the world? You know, the rest of the world cannot compete with the United States on anything other than soccer. And the idea that we would have a team advance and advance and advance was really freaking out the world. They, you know, and I don't know. I don't.
It was great. It was great fun while it lasted, and now we got to wait another 4 years, I think, to the next World Cup.
I don't think many Americans are going to be waiting for another World Cup. I
think I will be.
Yeah, you alone.
And by the way, really, the thing that you're looking at the bad part, but the good part. I've never seen such enthusiasm and worldwide for this sport. I think it bodes very well for the future of soccer, but we got to get a real team in there.
Yeah.
Because it was inexcusable how badly they played.
My Brazilian neighbors, I mean, my goodness. I mean, they've been having parties at all kinds of weird hours of the days and nights. 9:30 in the morning, there's like 300 people at their house with their Brazil shirts on, you know, and all the kind of strange games are weird times, you know, it's weird times.
I went to a Brazil match here in Miami a number of years ago.
Yeah.
And the fans are crazy from Brazil. I mean, it was like the decibel level was up the whole time. You couldn't even hear yourself think. I mean, and so that's how soccer fans are around the world.
I just felt like they didn't want us to win.
Sport in the world.
I feel like the soccer people around the world did not want us to win, and somehow made that happen.
Well, but that's Trump derangement. What do you expect?
You think our Team USA had Trump derangement syndrome?
No, I think the American haters that rejoice in our failures, they suffer from Trump derangement. That's what that's about.
I wonder if Trump will have them at the White House now that they've lost, or did they advance far enough to be considered winners? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't see anything to celebrate at the White House for.
I don't either. You know. I'll tell you something to celebrate though.
But my bet is still alive.
Okay. What's your bet?
France to
What's
win
your
the
bet?
tournament. France to win the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But there is something to celebrate, and that's this incredible deal from Sloman Central Air Conditioning. Listen to this. Sloman Central Air Conditioning is offering a high-efficiency 5-ton 18-SEER system that uses R454B refrigerant for just $59.99. And listen to this. 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest for 18 months. Plus, your system comes with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper service plan, which includes annual system maintenance, filter replacement, and refrigerant. So there's no annual maintenance cost there. But listen to this. This is amazing. On top of all that, great deal, great price, everything. You'll also receive the Sloman Shield home security system installed with 5 years of professional central station monitoring included with your AC package. Call Sloman Central Air Conditioning right now. 561-217-COOL. That's COOL. 561-217-COOL. 561-217-COOL. All right, we'll be back right after this. All right, you there, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute while I answer that phone. Hold on. Okay, all right, hold on. I don't think we got one Democrat condemning rape or calling for Platner to drop out today. They've all been not wanting to talk about it. That tells
What does that tell you?
That they're twisted people, Democrats.
Twisted sisters, as John Contini would say.
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. I'm going to answer some more phone calls. All right. What's left? Got that. Okay. Shoot. Okay, 90 seconds. We'll be back. Unbelievable. All right, 1 minute.
Okie dokie.
All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian, and let's take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning. It's Jim from New York. How you doing?
All right, Jim.
Good. So,
Yes,
I know Steve isn't. Hey, good morning, Steve. So, look, I know Steve's not going to agree on part of this. I mean, soccer's never going to catch on in the States.
No.
It's boring and it's slow. However, of course, I watched last night because I'm patriotic, and it's all these crazy TDS, Trump haters that were rooting against America last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. No matter what he does, isn't it ridiculous? I mean, all on social media you see, I'm rooting against America. These people are out of their minds.
Well, the Hate America First crowd
There's no
took this.
difference-
They
no-
took the World Cup as an opportunity to shout to the world how much they root against our country, even on soccer.
I mean, no one, anybody that's familiar with Trump derangement syndrome, you can't be surprised by this, because these people are they're out of their minds. I mean, we've been living with it for years now.
Generally speaking, liberals cannot control their emotions. I mean, look what happened when USA Hockey won the Olympics back in February.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are people who are losing their minds. They're hating on the players because, God forbid,
Look, they
visit the White
listen.
House.
They lost their
These people-
mind when President Trump stopped the murders in D.C. How dare you stop these murders? Who do you think you are, Donald Trump?
Yeah,
Right?
but getting back to soccer, soccer is soccer is the most popular sport in the world. There's
Nah.
no question of that. One bad game is not going to spoil that. And there have been in this tournament, there have been such incredible games that have been so exciting. When you look at the reaction worldwide, people don't cheer like that, even in the Super Bowl or the other major sports. No fans are like soccer fans, and they fill the planet.
Yeah, but
And,
Americans were only excited because we had a chance, and now we don't, so it's boring again.
Well,
for
it's not.
Americans.
It's boring
Well,
if you're not interested in the game.
I'm a huge sports fan, and Steve is right. I mean, it is the most popular sport in the world, just not here in America.
Muslim is
I don't
the
know if that's gonna
dominant
happen
religion of the
anytime soon.
world. There's more Muslims than any other religion on earth, including Christians. Just because it's more popular doesn't mean we should embrace it, or will, hopefully.
Agree.
Well, it doesn't mean you have to have a reason to hate it. And if the reason you hate it is because it's Don Trump's creation here in America, that's not a very good reason for hating it.
That's just boring.
Right,
Not
and that's the
not
thing. Right
some
now,
of those
now we're
games.
talking about. No, it is. I mean, when 2-0 is a blowout, or 4-1 last night, when we lost was a blowout, that's boring. And I'm sorry. And Steve, I know you love soccer, so God bless you. I'm glad you like it. And you got action on it, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
But
I know you love soccer. I feel like that scene in Goodfellas when they're talking to Paulie about, hey, I know he's your friend, but can you whack him? Here's the thing, okay? And I'm not a big sports fan, as you guys know. But with football, you get in those last couple minutes, there could be like 3 touchdowns. You don't know what's going to happen at the end, and it's always exciting. And
Soccer, same way.
Soccer.
Look, there are exciting football games and exciting soccer games, and there are adult football games and there are adult soccer games. But nothing is more exciting than an exciting soccer game.
Oh
Nothing.
my goodness!
Nothing comes close.
I have one question, Brian, would you rather watch a soccer game or listen to the Joyce Kaufman show?
I would rather listen to the Joyce Kaufman show for 24 hours than to sit for... How long is a soccer game, Steve? They seem so long. I don't know how long it is. I will tell you this. Do not listen to the Joyce Kaufman show while driving.
It'll put you to sleep. I know.
It's very
worse
yes.
than drinking and driving.
Oh yeah.
And,
At least you're
now,
awake when
Brian,
you're drinking.
You sunk to the. Oh God, yeah, you probably would get a DUI just by listening to it. But I couldn't imagine you sunk to the depths of humanity. You'd rather listen to Joyce
than watch soccer.
Watch a soccer game. That's great. Wow.
Well,
All right,
as
as always,
tell you.
great show. You guys are the best. You guys are the best.
But all these jabs, you never hear anybody say that my opinion on the quality of the program is incorrect, Steve.
It's true.
No one's ever said, you're wrong, it's excitement. Okay. Let's take another call. What the heck? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, Renee from Harlem.
Yes.
Just had to give you guys a little wake-up call. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been watching the World Cup, and
how would we know? How would we notice that? You're in your house. How would we notice that, Renee?
I haven't mentioned it. Now, the thing that I'm mentioning, all the players all over the world, even people that don't even have any black citizens, all the players are black. The only teams that win.
So what's the matter with that? Are you a bigot of some kind?
The Americans.
Why do you have a problem? Why do you have a problem with black soccer players?
We're the best players. You people can't play. That's why you call it
soccer. Hold on. I didn't know something. Stop down. You're a soccer player?
The world calls it football.
I'm asking you, did you say you play soccer?
You stutter too much. You must be old.
You're telling me that you play soccer?
I didn't say that at all.
Yes, you did.
The world calls it football. You're the only idiots that call it soccer.
What's the difference? It's a great game. You can call it whatever you want to do. You know the old thing, just don't call me late for dinner.
It's called football, you dummy. It's not soccer. Maybe if you practice, you'd get better. You'd call it by the right name. You should try getting out more.
Where you go? You got more to contribute?
More?
Well, if you
well, what? No. If the answer's no, just say no. Don't bore us.
That's already happened.
That's the reason you can't play.
What?
Remember Pele? He was black.
Who, Pele? I know Pele.
Yeah, he didn't know you, though.
What about him?
He didn't know you, and I noticed he was black.
So what?
All players all over the world are black. We dominate sports, and we dominate music. The only thing
you don't dominate anybody. You just sit there drooling.
We control all sports and all music.
You don't control your pee.
All right. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. He's really devolved. That guy. Yeah.
We haven't been able to help him at all, have we?
I couldn't believe it. He says, I don't... What he began his call with shows how delusional he is. He says,
We've invested so much time over the years in trying to turn her into a sentient human being.
No.
And it's all gone for nothing.
He said, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been watching the World Cup. We're not. How would we know that what he watches on television? We're in his living room, but he's watching us in his living room. We're not watching him in his living room. Oh, my goodness. You know, not one Democrat is called in today to condemn the rape of this accuser, this rape victim says.
They don't think anything's wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name?
You know Democrats don't have any qualms about supporting rapists.
I guess not. You're on the air.
As long as they have a D after their name.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Robert from Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had to call in. Talking about downplaying soccer like that. It's just as I have the same feeling as people talking bad about Trump. When people talk about Trump, I get so bitter. I mean, so let me get into this soccer thing. I was deployed, right? And I'm going to be going to the final. I was deployed to 250th anniversary. It was very good. We handled it very well, even though the rain was in there, but we got it done. But anyway, going back to the soccer thing, the soccer is in the blood. I'm from Nigeria. Ever since I got from Nigeria, from London, actually, because I used to live in London, down here, they say, oh, you're going to love American football. And up till now, I don't. The soccer is just in the blood. So saying that soccer is a boring game, I disagree.
Well, this is the
disagree
thing.
with
Hold
that.
on, caller. There's a serious discussion.
Wait, hold on one second. Boy, there's two things that we got to separate here.
Yeah.
To say, you can say that soccer is a boring game, or you can say that there are games of soccer that are boring, but that's different. Yeah, I mean, to me, the U.S. game last night was poor. I couldn't watch it. I didn't finish it. It was just boring. It was not an exciting game.
I bet it against them. I knew they were going to lose. I bet it against them. Actually, I got won $30.
You're betting against America in Tampa. Well, no. Let me explain to you why Steve's love of soccer is not the average American. His kids were involved in soccer very heavily. One of your daughters was like almost a pro. She played on
state champions.
Yeah,
both of them.
And your daughters played on a team with one of the Women's World Cup champions from years ago.
Yes.
Chastain or whatever her name is. So you got to think.
Brandy Chastain.
But caller, here's the thing. Like with you and other foreign-born people and Americans, sports are like music. People grow up typically being fans of what they grew up with. Same with music. Same with sports. Soccer's not a part of American life in this country, so Americans just really aren't into it.
But it is part of American life. It's not. Go ahead.
Let me say something real quick. Because it looks like you want to challenge my patriotism. No. Soccer. The reason why I bet it against. See, soccer is a game of very high passion. Okay, and you would know who's got the energy, who doesn't have the energy. And I knew that the soccer player that we have right now, they are not as good as Belgium. They're not. They are not hungry as Belgium.
Well, let Belgium have that victory, but what else does Belgium have? They fell to the Nazis like in 60 seconds. And that I know they got some chocolates I've heard about, but other than that, listen, we got to run for the break, but I appreciate the call. Welcome to the show. Appreciate the call. There's a huge special going on right now for Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not going to go through my whole amazing story right now, but you know it. I've lost so much weight without exercise. I've kept it off without starving myself, without pills, without shots. Coastal Weight Loss Secret works. You've seen it on me, and I've met many listeners in this audience that have lost major weight. We have listeners all over this country that have literally lost a ton of weight, literally, in this audience. And for America's 250th anniversary, Coastal Weight Loss Secret is offering $400 off. Now, this is for a limited time. I'm just going to get an email one morning that says it's over. So please call now. This will end without notice. Coastal Weight Loss Secret offering $400 off. They can help you lose weight no matter where you are in the United States or the world. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. We'll be right back with the Gold Report. All right, Steve, I want to put you on hold so I can get William, okay?
Okay.
All right, it is time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with today's gold and precious metals report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metal's looking very firm, actually. We had a little bit of a pullback yesterday on gold, closing down $10.10 at $4,164. After trading in a range of $4,128 on the low, all the way up to $4,203. Right now, we're seeing support for gold around $4,100 and resistance at $4,200. A break above or below either of those numbers could have a significant move. Silver closed yesterday down 34 cents at $61.93 the ounce. Platinum was down $9 at $1,629. And palladium was up $2 at $1,253. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $4,116 on the low to $4,175 on the high. Right now, we're at $4,167 an ounce for gold. That's up $3. Silver down 64 cents right now at $61.30. Platinum up $21 at $1,650. And palladium up $16 at $1,270. So again, support for gold around $4,100, resistance at $4,200, support for silver right around $61, and resistance up around that $64 number.
Yeah, things are looking good. Sounds like a good time to buy and increase your positions. And if you've never bought any of the metals, now's a great time to do that. And you can give William Youngerman a call in at after 10 o'clock, of course, and you can do your transactions no matter where you're located in America or the world through the mail and over the phone at 1-800-327-5010, 800-327-5010, or stop in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day. Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, you back with us, Steve?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I want to get back, though, on the big story of today is, of course, Graham Platner and these rape allegations. You know, now you guys got to understand, all of these things have come out through the Democrat Party establishment. And before this came out, I would imagine they've been trying to get him to drop out before they came out with this woman doing this interview. Because it was a two-pronged attack. There was the article in Politico yesterday afternoon.
Well, he assured them there were no more trees to fall, and that turned out to be a lie.
I'm sure they went to him, though, and they can't get this guy to drop out. So would he?
Well, I don't see evidence of that. When I heard his initial statement yesterday to the public, it sounded to me like the word I'd used to describe his tone yesterday is resigned. I mean, you could hear it in his voice that he knew he wasn't going to survive this.
Well, I wonder if they're going to offer him a payoff, or did he wait too long? And there's no payoff at this point. Pretty much over for him. You know, he's done. He'll have to go back to the oyster farm with one client, his mother. That's his only client. He has one client, his mother's restaurant.
I know.
I mean, you know, this guy is a loser and a Nazi. And this woman says that he raped her.
He's all of those things.
Well, Laura Loomer said yesterday when this story first broke, she said she has a source that tells her there's another woman that says she was a victim of his in Iraq when he was in the army. So, you know, I don't know. We'll find out. But for those, you know, what they're going to try to do, as you heard with some of the callers today, is, oh, well, Trump, all these are, anybody can make an allegation, but there's a difference between an allegation and a credible allegation. And what we've heard against Graham Platner so far is incredibly credible. And also, it comes from the Democrat Party. This isn't Susan Collins's campaign that have leaked these things. These are things that came from inside the Democrat Party at Liberal Politico and Liberal CNN. So that also gives credibility because they're Democrats, right? So you got Democrats exposing Democrats. So no, it's a big difference. You know, with all these phony charges and allegations against the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, they come from Democrat operatives every time. There's big differences. There's other differences too, other than those. But This is going to be a great midterm election for us. We still have to have a big turnout, and don't get overconfident. We got to swamp them at the polls. But this,
cautiously optimistic.
oh, we're gonna gain in both houses. You know, between the Democrat Socialist Democrat Party civil war, we did redistricting. We got rid of the racially segregated African American districts. They have no leaders. I saw one Democrat on TV yesterday. They said, "Who's the leader of the Democrat Party?" They said, "Hakeem Jeffries is our leader." Oh my goodness, Timu Obama, Dollar Store Obama. He's not a Bill Clinton. The Democrats don't have a credible leader. They just don't. They don't have a credible voice.
Unfortunately for the Democrats, their leader is Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah, who's not a leader of men. He's got the job nobody else wants because it's a mediocre job. Hakeem Jeffries is one of the weakest people I've ever seen be a leader in Congress.
The weakest is Schumer. If you could have seen him groveling in that gay pride parade, to crying out about how his daughter was a lesbian.
Oh,
it was pathetic.
Yeah.
Absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, but he's pathetic. All right, let's take another call or two before we run out of time. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Dan, Florida. You know, what you're talking about does hit the outskirts of, you mentioned this weird but makes sense soccer.
No.
Part of the World Cup is being held in Tampa. And I happened to be going through Tampa and Fowler and near the South Florida College, and I saw a pickup truck. I still can't believe it. It had a big sign on the back that said "Rednecks for Palestinians," and it had all this stuff. Why is our tax money going to Israel? But how could that be? I hope that guy hears, or his friends.
That's called fake. There are no rednecks for the Palestinians.
Well, this guy must be a raving. Tampa's a weird place.
Tampa, Hillsborough County, which is where Tampa is. If you remember, the Hillsborough County Sheriff arrested a pastor during the lockdowns for preaching at his church. Okay, so you're dealing with a liberal lunatic town.
Yeah, and the mayor, by the way, Castor, is a lesbian, as far as I know. People in Tampa would be.
I'm very good. More useless information. I want to talk about life imaging. You know, life imaging. This is such a public service announcement that I do every day when I'm talking to you about life imaging. And I'll tell you, Steve, I have talked and met with so many listeners that have gone to life imaging, had the heart scan or the cancer screening, and found out that they've got blockage. We have listeners in this audience that found out that they've had blockage in all of their arteries, had no idea, no symptoms, but they found out because they went to life imaging, had the heart scan, found out they had the blockage before they had a heart attack. We've had people in this audience find out they have all kinds of different heart problems too. They had no symptoms for, and even cancers. Life imaging is all about proactive health care. They have a location in Palm Beach, in Broward County, in Dade County, and Orlando. Okay, there's no excuse. Proactive health. Take control of your health. Make it a yearly thing that you do, like your annual physical, and make it in July. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with just a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell phone, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250, say free heart scan, and you will be connected in seconds. The Graham Platner story, I think this is not a one-off, because I really do think, Steve, that they're going to do some other takedowns. And this Democratic socialist from Ethiopia.
When you say more takedowns, are you talking about with Graham Platner, or are you talking about somebody else?
No, I think the Democrat establishment are going to try to discredit as many Democrat socialists that have won primaries as possible. They don't want these people to be sworn into Congress. This girl, the blind man that called earlier from Fort Lauderdale, the Democrat socialist that won in Colorado last week, Okay, she's originally from Ethiopia. She's the one who said that 9/11 was our fault, that we drove them to it. You know, and she's a Democrat. They don't want these people going to Congress because they've done the internal polling. Their party is already on life support. This will be the end of the Democrat Party. You know, so the Democrats are going to work hard to lose many seats, and they're not concerned about winning the midterms. They just want to win control of the party after the midterms. So if they have to lose seats in the House, if they have to lose Senate races, they're going to do it. This whole thing with Graham Platner has nothing. They've known about this rape accuser for a while. They saved it because he would. They've done their polling. They're trying. The Democrats. He's a Democrat socialist, Graham Platner. They're trying to purge the Democrat socialist, and that's why they did this. Well, it's going to be a couple year fight. And then and who knows what'll be left of the party then. All right, well, listen, we're out of time for today. So if you're on hold, there's no time for more calls. But if you stay on hold, you'll be first in line tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., all right? And, of course, it's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Steve Kane's been here. I'm Brian Craig. And do you think Graham Platner will drop out before we go on the air tomorrow, Steve? Will he drop out today?
I don't know. My guess is yes. If I had a gun to my head and I had to take a pick,
okay,
I'd say he's out.
All right. Well, listen, guys, we'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. Have a very good day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. All right, guys. Hey, listen. If you're new, welcome, and make sure that you subscribe, okay? And everyone else, please do me the favor of liking the video before you go. You know, guys, when you like the video, it gets the video shared with people that have not yet found the program, okay? So please like the video. My name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you next time. Take care.